movie. It's a movie.
It's a movie.
It really...
That's a good tagline. We should use that for our show.
Yeah.
It's a movie.
Movie.
Hey, Internet.
Oh, are we on?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus.
No, just the Internet, Chuck.
We're not on the Jesus?
No. We are not.
I hope somebody comments on this and tells us that we're the worst thing on the internet.
I hope that
Oh,
someone
don't
really
worry.
wanted to see 2012's The Rift.
These four assholes need a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that guy.
Says internet commenter.
Yes.
Yeah, it says fucked hard on the internet. Yeah, I'm talking to you, tough guy.
Yeah.
Piece of shit.
Guy that thinks he's tough.
Yeah.
Totally.
Tuffy McTufferson.
Yeah.
With your
Fucking face.
Yeah. Look at that thing.
With your
Just
fucking
sitting there
face.
on your head, a fucking face.
Messing it up for the rest
Yeah.
of us. You piece
Guy.
of fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. All of these things, apparently.
Yeah, fuck you. Buddy.
That's succinct. It says it all.
Oh! You a piece of shit.
Yes. Hey, guy. I hope you fuck off.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good thing we use that explicit tag, isn't it?
It is probably
What
pretty-
would happen if we couldn't swear? You would just kick me out immediately.
We
You'd
would
be like, "You gotta
fucking
leave."
suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We would have to stop
Yeah.
a lot.
What was that?
What?
Sirens.
Which cast was that on?
What?
The Sirens?
No.
Siren cast?
Yes.
What?
The call of the
No,
Sirens?
the stupid comments
The stupid comments?
that
I don't
we were
know.
just talking about.
The Internet?
Oh, it was
I could
for
tell you.
one of the blaxploitation movies.
Okay.
I can tell you because somebody commented on it recently.
Yeah, it happened today.
Oh.
But someone was telling that person to
It was
fuck off.
Black Belt Jones.
Yeah.
Black Belt Jones.
Because the guy who wrote to us said, "For homo apostrophe s in search of a real women."
We got served.
Yeah. We are possessive homo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did respond
Yes.
to him. You seem like a cool guy with lots of friends. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, that was nice. Kill him with kindness, you say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then
Where'd the tiny purple go?
So-
You get on the Internet.
She went away.
This is a secret to our success.
what? The cat?
Yeah.
Yeah, the cat will probably make an appearance soon enough.
Yeah. I don't think I have to.
I wouldn't worry about
I
it.
don't think I have to worry about it. It'll just.
Nah.
This will just happen.
Yep.
Yes.
Damn
Just
right.
Let it happen.
Hey,
Yeah.
next door. The fuck did I sign up for that for? Huh?
Nobody on that app.
Your wife's on that app.
Whoa, you take that back.
I will not. This is the truth.
Oh, right.
Oh yeah, I didn't fan it up. Uh oh! Drop the
Oh,
mic.
Jesus, Chuck.
We're out.
Dangling. Danglers over here.
That's a dangling participle right there.
Danglers.
Welcome to Danglers. You want a long rod today?
How about some dipping sauce?
I want to dip my balls in it.
Welcome to Danglers, y'all.
Indubitably dangling.
You said it. Ooh, doobly dangly.
Indubitably dangling.
Danglers. Ooh, doobly dangly.
Ooh, doobly
Danglers.
dangler.
Yeah, that's their tagline.
Yeah.
Have you never been to Danglers?
Yeah, you gotta go. Because they say oogly doogly.
Doobly dangler.
Ugly diggly dangly.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy commented twice that we were...
Oh, yeah, he wanted to make a
Yeah,
point.
he really wanted us to know.
He probably used Google Plus one of the
He
times.
probably didn't realize that live stream wasn't happening anymore.
Right.
He's probably trying to tell us like straight to our face.
Have you ever had intercourse?
I have.
Yeah,
It's
you?
pretty cool.
You?
I used to. And then I got married.
Well, yeah, but you've had it. You?
Yes,
I've
I
heard
have.
about it. I read about it.
Have you done it? I think you've done it. Right?
I need some clarification.
The penis into the vagina thing.
Oh, Jesus,
that.
man.
Oh.
Shit. Oh, well, that.
I didn't, realize, I didn't realize you were talking about that. No, never. What the?
Oh, okay, good.
God.
Gross.
Like
With
No.
a lady?
a vagina or
Yeah,
like
with a lady vagina.
a hand vagina?
No, with a
Oh, I love that song in Greece.
a vagina on a lady.
Hand job.
There's not so much side to side motion with that. It's mostly just. There you go.
It's one of the stupidest thing on the internet.
It's like,
That is saying a lot.
yeah, it's like pulling the rigging up on a boat. You just got to go hand over hand.
Just climb the rope.
You got to make sure the sail gets up
Climb
all
the rope.
the way.
Yeah, milk the cow. Milk the
Sometimes you
cow.
go European and you.
Oh, you milk the cow. It's on its back. Okay.
Right.
It's all downhill
It's
from
milking
here,
the
folks.
dead cow. I got you.
It is all downhill from here.
Yeah.
God, why would anyone listen to us after this?
Hand job.
But yeah, you've put your.
Yes, okay, fine. Yes, I will consent to the fact that I have had actual lady
Yeah.
intercourse
Yeah.
in a vagina.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
settled. We've.
despite the clarification, yes.
Yeah. Yes. I didn't know that's what you meant up front, but
Yeah.
okay, yes.
Flying in the
Yes.
face of the clarification.
None of us, we've all
Really,
had carnal knowledge.
At
Yes.
Right.
first, I thought you were talking about that time when like you have that split course in school, and you have the
Oh
like
no,
the intercourse.
not
No,
that.
no.
Or that like
mean-
spring break. It's the
Yeah,
intercourse.
it's
Right.
not an exchange program. Well, kind of is.
I mean,
but-
sexual
little bit.
congress with a
It's-
lady.
Hopefully, some sort of fluid exchange.
Or
Yeah.
whichever.
Otherwise, it's kind of like a sad hand job.
sad hand jive. That's the episode title.
No, I'm saying hand gine. It's the hand gina. Yeah.
I'm so glad I told my parents about this podcast.
Did you?
There is a child in this house
Yeah.
listening to this filth.
There really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, where's the new cat?
There's a baby.
Where's BMFcast Jr.?
Baby.
There's a baby.
Hey, cat.
Hey, cat, get in here!
Get in here and rub yourself all over my face. I'm not congested enough.
You're fine.
Okay.
That's how I knew you were allergic, because she wanted to spend the entire movie sitting on your lap.
Yes. Yes, that is. And then I pet the cat a lot. And then I smell my fingers.
Hey, give the cat some privacy.
Yeah, cat's pooping.
She's taking a shit.
I'm pooping.
That'd really fuck with the other cat. She shits in her box.
Well, where does she shit?
She's got her own box.
Oh, really?
Yeah, separate boxes.
Cat.
Oh no, she's getting in the wires.
Cat.
Hey,
where you at,
chewing on the
cat?
wires?
Yeah, but we're gonna show the cat.
Oh, come here.
It's very warm down there, I bet.
Come here.
Yeah, good luck getting out of that.
Yeah, holy God, that cat. I never realized there was how many plugs and nests of wires there are down there. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's a complicated little
I've-
thing we got.
It is, yeah. It was real complicated setting that up.
I've got to admit, I've never looked under the table before.
It's pretty scary.
This is a first.
Scary business.
Keep looking.
One day we're gonna
See
parasite.
something you like.
Will I?
I don't know. I mean, wire. If you like
A
wires.
sail and some rigging.
You might.
Oh, there we go.
BJ lured that.
Oh my
cat.
God, you scared the shit out of the cat.
Like a cat whisperer. Kitten whisperer.
We're on.
Yeah, we're on the big camera. Sorry, hold on. Let me get rid of
Get all
the
the goddamn
all-
graphics out
Get
of
the
the way.
graphics out. Of
Yeah, the graphic right in the
There.
middle.
Yes. It is time.
So this is BMFcast Jr.
Yeah.
You have the cutest face in the world.
Oh, thanks. It's nice of you to notice.
Watching the footage, it's like the cat looks like, oh God, what are you doing to
Yep.
me?
Why are you
Whoa.
putting me on the internet?
Yeah, the cat's squirming, that's for sure.
Look at that weird tiger mark.
Yeah. Laser cats. No, don't point the laser cat in
Yeah.
your face.
You have the cat so close to the camera, it's just like fur.
Yeah.
Oh, eep.
Oh. Did it poop on you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ow, I'm trying to set you down, Jesus.
You want me to save you?
No, she just wants to walk all over the keyboard. What up, cat?
Chat? What happened to you
Hey.
here?
You want some
How you living?
chapstick? Cat stick?
There we go. She's just gonna hang out over here, I guess.
Okay.
Oh, nope. She's gonna look around that. She saw you doing something.
What?
I did have the podcast paused, but yeah, I think she hit the button on me.
Am I banned from chat?
Are you banned from chat? The cat probably bans you.
Yeah. Now she's just
internet.
typing 55555. There it goes.
No. Get off.
All right, cat.
I think we probably should put her not on the table.
That
for our
oh,
understanding.
she's hitting the knobs.
Here.
Knobs is here?
Good kitty.
Oh, now it's 433333333.
That's my password.
How many threes was that again?
I don't know.
All right, now we're on.
All right. Well, now that we should have all the viewers on the internet thanks to cats.
Yay, cats.
All 4 of them.
Everybody loves cats.
And that's River?
Except for dogs.
That is River, technically speaking. Yes.
I was just gonna call it cat.
I know. You know. What's the other cat's name?
Cat.
Bigger cat.
BMFcat?
Anyone?
Yeah.
I know.
She's Bamfcat, and that
He
one's
knows.
Bamfcat
I know.
Jr.
I was there like
Yeah,
the
Kate-
day after you got her.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember because you told me earlier this week
Okay.
that Bamfcat's real name is Kaylee.
Yeah. There you go. It's true. I'm a big nerd.
You just need a few more, and then you can stab one in the chest.
Yeah. Huh. That'll be my cat in the wind.
What? Huh?
What? Nothing.
All right, this is not your speedway.
Yeah. Cat's making lanes down here. Oh, there she's back on the graphic novels.
Son of a bitch.
Time to chew.
Good place to poop. On this
Oh wait, let me go get the Ultimates
the-
3 then.
shiny
Yeah,
mountaintop.
seriously. Wait, did you have a?
No, I don't actually own
Okay,
that.
you didn't have the trade.
But if
I should put those.
if the
I should
cat were
put
going to
those
shit on
E-
something, let me go get that.
I should put Ultimates 3 on eBay for like 99 cents or best offer and see if I can get rid of them
Yeah, you should do that.
with free shipping.
Oh, you have the individual issues?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well,
That feels
I
even
wouldn't
worse
have
somehow.
known.
I know.
I think I have all but the last one.
Yeah.
I think it was just like even
Fuck this, yeah.
yeah, before I even had a chance to just cancel my pull.
The hell was that?
Cat.
That was yours.
It's a thing that just happens every once in a while.
Okay.
I don't know what it is.
This is a thing that happens.
It is a thing that happens. Yep.
La 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 la.
So, podcast? Do we do that still?
Nope.
Catcast?
I would like to do a
Podcast?
podcast.
No longer.
I want to talk about Spectre.
Planet.
We got a ways to go before we can do that, Chuck.
Planet.
Okay.
Just letting you know, man. I just sold more comics.
Did we
That's
do a
interesting.
tweet? Did we do a tweet?
Yeah, I tweeted.
Yeah, it's been,
Okay,
it has been tweeted and
I
sometimes
will
retweeted.
retweet it. I
Yeah,
forgot
twat
to
it
do
up.
that.
Where is it?
Shake it, baby.
Yeah, I hate when phones shit. Shit phone.
Yeah. Just turn the volume on. It won't buzz anymore.
Buzz buzz.
All right, 2-step verification. Good to go. Retweet.
Great.
Oh wait, you weren't verified?
No,
Get verified.
I had to log back into Twitter because somehow I got logged out.
Oh.
Oh.
Sorry, I'm not going to read I'm not going to do the joke and read the Aliens plot summary because they're all terrible.
Because it's not good enough.
Yeah, the movie sucks.
Okay.
I mean, it's no Alien 4. That was where it's really at.
That's true. That's pretty dope.
There's no Alien versus Predator.
That's also true. This is our song. No, mixed. Ready to start?
Yep.
All right, and welcome to the BMFcast.
Hey!
BMFcast.
BMFcast.
Episode 299.
299.
Wow, the penultimate episode.
We are almost done.
So
We're
close.
almost to the ultimate episode.
So I'm Harlow,
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
and what we do each and every episode of the BMFcast is we go ahead and we watch ourselves a quote-unquote bad movie. Come in here to the studio and talk about it for the first half. Then at the end, we rate them. Good bad movies, enjoyable bad movies. They get 1 to 5 jocks, as in robot jocks.
Hooray,
All
Robot
right,
Jocks.
robot jocks.
But if it's a bad movie, it gets a negative sliding scale 1 to 5 bags, as in douchebags, after Twilight.
Boo.
Boo.
Blah. Speaking of blah,
Speaking of blah, blah.
Bleh.
1990, we're doing a theme year because we're stupid.
No,
I mean,
no,
we're
it's
awesome.
the best idea.
we're the best.
This is
Yeah,
great.
around.
We're the smartest as well.
So
Yeah.
we're so good. We did the Rift.
We did the rift, all right.
The Rift or the Grift on
Do
Alien.
the rift.
Yes, the endless descent into Aliens ripoff.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Plot summary for a thing.
Probably.
Yeah, some stuff happens in the water.
An experimental submarine, the Siren 2, with a very experienced crew, is sent to find out what happened to the Siren 1. Mysteriously disappeared in a submarine rift. Things go awry when they begin to find things that shouldn't be there.
Don't they always?
I like the use of the word awry. I like the ellipses at the end of this one. I just liked it all.
Wait, so it's a submarine rift? Like it's
It's
not just
Oculus Rift.
It's not just a rift.
No, it was a rift in the ocean.
Yeah, but it's not a submarine rift.
I don't what
It's
defines a
rift
submarine
that
rift.
can fit a submarine in it.
I don't know.
I mean, I think they mean that there's marine, which is the ocean, and then there's below that, as in a rift, submarine, not the vessel, but the location on Earth.
I'm stupid. Sorry.
No, you're
maybe,
just dumb.
or
Chuck.
maybe I'm just actually trying to make sense of a poorly written plot summary.
That too. Okay. Is it from an Earthlink account?
No, I don't.
Okay.
What this is? It's like laser car.
What?
I don't know. It says lastcar.puc.cl.
Pew. Okay.
Yeah, it's lasercar.
Albert
Puckle.
Cool.
Yeah. Anyway.
So, what happens in this movie?
Well, Chuck, have you seen Aliens? Not Alien, mind you, but Aliens.
I have not seen Alien. I've seen Aliens.
You know the one with Paul Reiser?
Yes. Yes.
Because that's the cast member I go to
Yes.
first.
Paul Reiser.
I go to Paul Reiser.
Yes.
Yes,
I've
the
seen
one where-
Television's Paul Reiser.
I've seen
This
Paul
is about
Reiser's
Paul Reiser.
Aliens.
It's the story of Paul Reiser.
Yes. I've seen it.
Well, so Paul Reiser is Ray Weiss in this movie. So let's go on to the second half.
Okay.
No, I'm just yeah, pretty much. Anyway.
Ray Wise is kind of Paul Reiser and Ash
Ash.
from Alien.
Yeah, okay, sure.
And Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
No.
Ash versus the underwater
Right.
monster things. All right.
Let's talk about the Rift.
Yeah, so the movie starts in a hotel room. Wick, who's the submarine designer,
Yes.
is sleeping. Some dudes in suits come to his door and are like, hey, you got to come with this. He's like, fuck off, I'm sleeping. And they pour some Perrier on him or something.
No, it was Schweppes.
Oh, Schweppes? Okay.
Schweppes.
Yeah, go to one
That's
of
an
the best.
important detail. It was
Obviously.
Schweppes.
He promised to be less pedantic, right?
No, it just popped into my
Sure,
head. I was
I
like,
know.
oh, it was
Fine.
Schweppes.
When you have a chance to say Schweppes,
Yes.
you take it up.
Yes.
It's
Take it.
Schweppes.
Yeah, it's
refreshing.
You swept me away with your knowledge of the movie. But yes, anyway, they pour some sparkling water on his
You
face.
mean Schweppes?
They put they sparkling waterboard him for a moment because he's undercover. So they pour this water right on his face, and he's like, "All right, I'm getting up."
Yeah.
He goes to meet with two, shady suit type people
Refreshingly torturous.
who will never be seen or heard of in the movie ever again. But
Nope.
like, one guy's like got way too much makeup on. He almost looks fake.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the older guy, like the Ronald Reagan kind of looking dude, as BJ said. And they're basically just like, hey, yeah, you're super cool experimental submarine. It went missing, and we need you to go on the second version to find it. Mm-hmm. And he's like, all we have are trace amounts of radiation. He's like, wait, what are you talking about? I didn't make a nuclear submarine. It's like, they're like, yeah, well, we might have made a few modifications.
We
so.
put some nukes in it.
He's like, well, you broke it. You
I
go
got
fucking
fucking
find it.
nukes.
Yeah, you go find it. You changed it. You broke it.
buy
Your
it.
problem. He's like, yeah, but your friend was on the first one.
Yeah.
Some guy he knew, and he's like, it's that old like, all right, well, my friend. It's
Yeah,
kind of the
and
American
this
Ninja 4. It's like, oh, the friend's involved. All right,
Yeah, but this is also cut to footage of basically.
Jesus.
Wow. The cat just unplugged the sound.
Cat killed the show.
Well,
Wait, you unplugged your sound? Because I'm fine.
All the sound.
She unplugged.
I have no sound.
No.
No, I think it's just your headphones.
Oh, the headphones. Okay, we can live with that.
Hold on.
Now you've done it. Now you're fucked.
Ow.
Go on. No.
We gonna kill you, you some bitch.
You sabotaged the show.
All right, you might want to take your headphones off.
Me?
Well,
Okay.
whoever doesn't have sound.
So did it cut out everybody's sound?
Yeah,
Or
I have
just-
no
It's
sound.
probably going to be loud when I.
Okay. Oh, no, no, no. No.
Stop that shit.
You got sound now? Hello?
La 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 la
La la la la la la. Podcast.
Hey, I can hear you guys.
Hey, chat, can you hear us now?
Oh.
I don't think they ever had a problem.
This goddamn cat unplugged our show.
Ow!
potato. Come here.
Give me the stupid cat. Here.
I'm sorry.
More like cat potato, am I right?
I'm going to put her in the room.
Ha!
Just.
All right, or you can hold her.
Hot picado.
No, I'm done.
Hey, cat.
Hey. No, she's officially gone batshit, so.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
yanking cords and
Can't have that.
smashing boards,
Yeah.
Woo!
Stacks of wax.
praising the Lord.
She drives a Ford Stratus.
My little kitty, she's a firecracker.
All right. Yeah, she's done.
Yeah. No more cat.
Yeah, flush that shit.
Pour out some toilet wine.
Get a bag. We're done here.
Don't fuck with the podcast, man.
What the hell were we talking about?
I don't know.
The Rift.
Yeah. The Rift. The Rift.
Oh, he was saying he made a sub that didn't have nukes in
Yeah.
it. They're like, hey, we put fucking nukes in your sub.
We got fucking no
He's like,
nukes,
no,
yeah.
I got no nukes.
Right, okay, let's go back and not making a mid-joke that's not going to be on the podcast.
Are you going to cut that?
I can make it work.
Well, yes, all of it. There's no segue. We can't leave. Never mind. Yeah.
Wait.
Huh?
Did you put the poster back up on the live
I
stream?
did.
Okay.
Well, briefly now. I'm to the 4-way shots.
Okay. Oh, the cat's crying. You let me out.
Close the door. We can live with the door closed.
All right, go close the door.
Yes, sir.
Why aren't you obeying my commands?
Fuck you.
Slightly closer. It's all right.
Jesus.
Shut the door. Why don't you? You son of a bitch.
What's your problem?
I'm an asshole.
Yeah, basically, these two guys are just like, we don't care that we, messed up your sub. We need you to go and get this other sub. And he's like, but your friend's on board.
Yeah.
So he suddenly cares because whatever friend.
Right.
Yeah, and it's weird because they have like footage of the other sub blowing up, and like they have the friend's face, and like basically the dude dying on screen.
It seemed like they had shot a bunch of footage and the lab fucked it up and they had about 8 seconds of it left.
Mm-hmm.
And so they just quickly spliced it in because it is random. And it's like, wow, they went through a lot of trouble for that 10-second shot. That's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
So, yeah, whatever. I guess they were just like,
So it's probably
don't-
footage from the longer than 79-minute version of
Yeah.
the movie that somewhere once existed.
yeah, probably in editing, they were like, we don't want to give away the secret too soon.
Right. Yeah. But so, he goes onto the Siren 2 and has to start meeting the crew. And, it's your standard movie like this, kind of like a motley crew, but like no one's overly distinguishable unless like you've seen them in another movie, which is like the case for two people. Like Ray Weiss is in this, and then what's her name? Ellie something. One
Yes.
from the Death Machine.
Ellie Pouget.
Pouget, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from Death Machine. And Jack Scalia was a BMFcast alum
Uh-huh.
for Endgame.
Oh,
Cuba Gooding Jr.'s
Yeah.
Endgame.
Endgame.
He was the president
Yeah.
of the United States of America.
right.
The film that
Totally.
was shot on a flip phone.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 That shitty one. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, while
But-
we're at it, we should mention we saw it on Amazon. But
Yes.
for some reason, it was like window boxed all the way around.
It was a non-anamorphic copy.
Yeah, non-anamorphic
Yeah, like-
widescreen copy.
It's like the old DVD of Armageddon.
Yeah. It's 2015. Like,
Can't figure out
we know how
blow
to
that
do
up.
this now,
Nah,
right?
Nah.
Well, and Amazon's
Yeah,
wonderful
okay.
app doesn't actually have a blow up button.
Right.
Like switch the aspect ratio. It's just.
But yes, if you have Amazon Prime.
Yeah. Go check it out. It's great.
Right.
Except you're about to find out it's not.
I mean, otherwise
yes,
in the
he
crew,
meets-
I mean, there's probably like 10, 12 people or so.
There's probably 10 people of
Yeah.
all different cultures, different dubbed accents.
Right.
Yeah,
and-
because he had to go to Norway, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's a brief shot. Yeah.
One of those places.
Mm-hmm.
That's where he meets everybody.
Yeah, and like, I don't know. We don't find out what everybody does right away, but they're all just kind of like lackadaisical submarine people. They're just like they're hanging out, and he comes on, and like, well, for like the very first shot is our Death Machine lady is like watching him on a monitor come on, and he's like, "Who's that?" And somebody's like, "Yeah, he's the guy that designed the sub," and he's like, "He's sexy." or something like that. And then like she actually goes to greet him at boarding, and he's like, "Hey, I'm Wick Hayes. I designed the submarine." She's like, "Yeah, whatever."
Yeah.
And it's like that never ever comes back up. She's just like comments that he looks good, and then never actually gives him a second look.
This is to remind the audience that he's sexy,
Right?
But she's too sassy
then
for
she
sexy.
doesn't care after that.
He does have a nice chin butt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a fine mane of hair.
Right.
Man, he's got a lot of hair.
But his ex-wife is also on board.
Well, not yet.
not yet.
Yeah, his ex-wife comes in with Arlie Ermy, who is the
Okay.
Navy captain who is going to take over the submarine, and he's brought along his ex-wife.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of misfits. Just like, hey, this is going to be great. We're going to drink beer and get drunk and go rescue a submarine. And then Arlie Ermy shows up, and it's like kind of like that's why you hire Arlie Ermy, but they never let him do.
They never let him go like get really angry at
Yeah.
anybody.
He gets a little drill instructory
At the beginning.
at first, but
Yeah.
drops it almost
he never
immediately.
dresses anybody down the
No.
way you
No.
want Arlie Ermy to just tear into somebody.
Like he dresses that one dude down who's just basically like, I don't know. And he's like, oh, that's pretty bold. You saying you don't know? Well, guess what? Don't say it again. And that's the extent of that.
Yeah, but the only other thing that really they establish is like as soon as he gets on the boat, he says, he's like, "Hey, I'm Wick Hayes," and they're like, "Oh, you're the one who designed the thing that like fucking didn't work."
Yeah.
Yeah,
job.
pretty much.
Thanks a lot. Yeah. Why don't you go sit in the corner, you jerk?
Yeah, it's like they've hammered home the idea that the military has like convinced everyone that everything is his fault.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a brief scene where like I think he's like, I think I'm going to go talk to the ex-wife, and she's immediately like, I thought I said I don't want to see you. And
Oh
get
yeah,
out here.
she flips like she
Oh,
gets
yeah.
more angry than Arlie Ermy ever does.
She's like, how dare you? And he's
How
like,
dare you
I
even
didn't have a
talk to me."
choice.
yeah,
It's like, I don't want to be here. It's like, if you didn't know, I'm kind of the person that would be the best suited to go find this
Yeah.
other sub, maybe.
They poured Schweppes on me.
Yeah.
I'm all sweaty.
Sparkling waterboarded.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah.
here I am.
So, but like that happens, and it's just like, all right, well, I guess they're not going to have any kind of interaction, in the foreseeable future. In classic movie, it's like, okay, they hate each other. Like they don't even she doesn't even want to see him.
Yeah.
And then there's some scene where he's on the command deck or whatever, and kind of questions what Arlie Ermy says about something, and he's like, "My quarters now." And basically, he's like, "Yeah, you fucker! I don't even know why you're here, despite the fact that you designed both these submarines. You're not allowed on the command deck anymore. Get the fuck out of my sight.
Yeah.
Why don't you go down to the engine room and I don't know, test something?"
If we need you, we'll call you.
And he's just like, "All right, yeah, all right, fine."
Yeah.
Off the
well, he's a little pissed. He's like, well, I can't do shit from there. I might as well type out Morse code on the side of the sub. He's like, I don't care.
Yeah, really don't care.
Deal with
Whatever,
it.
bro. Just get the fuck out.
And then I don't know. I guess we're supposed to get to know some of the crew members, but
Doesn't matter.
like other than names being barked out on random times, it's more like, oh, there's Frenchy diver guy, and there's weird eyebrows engineer dude, and the sassy
You mean
black
German
guy.
Burt Reynolds?
Yeah,
Please-
German Burt
please and
Reynolds.
thank
Sorry,
you.
I'm just like it's everyone's just kind of like an archetype instead of like a character. They have names that they'll say a lot, but like it's just
They're all stereotypical names for their nationality.
right.
And
Oh,
they
then
all...
Skeet,
Oh, God, Skeets. Skeets.
Skeets,
Skeets.
Skeets, who is the sassy black dude.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Who?
Oh, and he's
is
sassy.
Is that about the point where they're trying to do something on the boat, and he has the world's weirdest goggles on?
That's way later.
That's way later?
Super late.
Not that much later. I don't know, but like he in the point where the lady Ellie, whatever her name, Anna in the movie is like, oh, he's sexy, and he says something along the lines of like, oh, we were wondering if you had any hormones, you sexy thing, and like establishes he's got some kind of weird obsession with her.
Well, she's the only woman on the sub.
Sure, yes,
So.
but damn cat. Even I can hear that, and I've got
Yeah.
the noise canceling headphones. The fuck, what happened?
Yeah, and also Ray Wise is basically. It seems like Ray Wise is doing the same thing that Wick is. Is so Arlie Ermy's basically just like, all right, well, you're just going to do everything now. He's like, all right, that's cool.
They seem to be of the same mindset. So he's just like, well, you were going to do everything that he's doing, so just you do it.
Right. Yeah, Lady's the navigator. Anna, the one we keep talking about, and I don't know what. I really don't understand. What I guess his ex-wife is like a scientist of some kind.
Yeah, she's working with beakers and shit.
But I don't know what her function is until like she's like a function that only has a function when they get to the later point in the movie.
She's a genetic biophysicist.
Right. That's what I'm saying. They're like,
Yeah.
there's almost no reason for her to be there until
Yeah.
like the plot of the movie happens.
They're like, oh my god, there's
it's
monsters. Well, thank God you're here.
Yeah, luckily we had monster study lady here
Yeah.
with us.
Yeah,
It's-
it's one of those things like in a more competently written movie, there would be a
been.
reason for it.
Yeah.
But as it is, it's just like she's there because eventually the movie's going to need her to be there.
Right.
Right.
I don't know.
But yeah, it's after they almost crash the sub pretty much against icebergs.
They hit a bump in the ocean.
Yeah,
Which-
and that's what leads to him basically sending Wick out.
I want to point this out. Okay, so they're a long ways underwater. They're more underwater than they should be, as they talk about later. Like,
Yeah.
they're Mariana Trench level underwater, which is like
They're at 27,000 feet.
right,
Yeah.
which is insane, and they have to dodge icebergs underwater.
Yeah.
No,
Sure.
no,
No.
Yeah.
no.
Ice mountains.
You remember the first G.I. Joe movie? Everybody had a problem.
I do.
With ice sinking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It was heavy ice.
Okay.
yes.
Ice 3.
Just saying.
Heavy ice.
Ice Cube.
But there's a scene with the terrible model, shots that they have of this little toy yellow submarine going through icebergs. And I don't really understand it. I guess the implication is that Ray Weiss tampered with the equipment.
Yeah, because there
Later-
is an insert shot of somebody.
Yeah, like changing the degrees of the monitoring system just ever so slightly, because they're like, yeah, we're going to clear this, and they're like, no, we're getting a proximity alert, and then they actually bump the ice, they Titanic the iceberg underwater, and really all it serves is like a couple beakers get broken in Science Lady's lab, and like one guy's like, oh no, my coffee, and then they're just like, well, that was lucky.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you're dead. You were so that happened. You as bad as that is as a ship on top, that's way worse for a submarine that deep. Like,
Yeah. But the Siren 2 is a super top-notch secret submarine impervious to slamming into an iceberg
Sure.
underwater.
Sure.
Yeah. It's not at all like a balloon underwater that the slightest little bit of poking would probably burst it.
But
We should-
eventually, what?
Well, we should describe the submarine for a second, because it's like a McDonald's toy with a big spotlight on the front of
It
it.
really is.
That, I mean,
Yeah, and the inside consists of like 3 sets.
yeah. There's literally 3 rooms on this thing.
Yeah.
Which
they're-
makes it really
and
funny
they're
later when they're
huge.
searching.
And yeah, for a sub, they're comfy.
Yeah, they
They're
got
very
plenty of
comfy
space,
rooms.
lots of headroom.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But,
anyway, I don't
Eventually, they get into they eventually get into a field full of kelp. It's like there's seaweed everywhere.
Yeah.
know. Yeah, well,
And scientist lady is like, we're at 27,000 feet. Like, sunlight doesn't reach down here. Photosynthesis is impossible.
This shouldn't be.
yeah, they're
This stuff
they're
shouldn't
supposed to be
exist.
tracking the black box of the original sub.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, it's just right down here next to this kelp field, which makes no sense.
Yep.
And yeah, so they're like, I don't know, send out a diver.
Yeah. Get
Like-
Sven out there
At
to
27,000 feet, send out a diver.
plop him right out
Yep.
there. He'll be fine.
Yeah, in a normal ass wetsuit.
Yep.
Because so normal
no.
that normal that he's out there and he goes, wow, there's like warm water coming here. I'm like, you could feel the temperature of the water.
Yeah, you should be dead.
No, that's the blood that has been squeezed out of his body.
I'm like, number one, the water would be fucking freezing that deep, so you shouldn't be feeling that anyway. And
Yeah.
number two, like your suit should not allow
Yeah.
temperature to feel temperature change.
All your blood has gone to your little toe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, but yes, he's sent out to retrieve the black box / cut some kelp
Yeah.
and bring
Yeah.
it back.
Because science lady wants some of it.
She
Right.
does. Yeah.
She's like, this doesn't make any
I need
sense.
to learn about this shit.
Yeah.
And like, just the kelp starts eating him, like just wrapping itself around
Well,
him.
you
and-
see tentacles.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You absolutely do.
Oh,
but
yeah.
We have no idea what's going on in this point.
But for like a good 2 minutes, he's just blah, 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 over the mic, and then finally someone says, "I think he's in trouble."
well, it's Lieutenant Obvious,
Yeah.
the lady, the navigator.
Yes.
She for a moment she actually does the Galaxy Quest of like the computer's like life signs are failing. He's like, I think he's in trouble.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just repeating everything the computer
Meanwhile,
says.
cut to footage of just red everywhere.
Yeah.
And the guy just screaming his head off. He's
Right.
screaming his head off for a long time over the comms.
Yeah. And his buddy, his diving buddy, who's like ready to go outside, also is just losing his mind. He's just like, "Come on, Captain Ermy, let me go out there and get the guy."
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, you stay here." It's just-
Yeah, they won't let him out because
No.
it makes sense.
sure, something's out there
Someone
killing
just
him.
ripped your buddy apart.
Yeah, you don't need that.
You in a diving suit isn't going to do much to help that.
Nah.
Right. But I guess before that, he managed to put a seaweed sample into a jar, which was tied to a string because their decompress or their diving chamber is just a hole in the bottom of the sub.
Yeah,
and the guy's got a string, a rope tied to a sack, and he pulls it in, and he's got the sample of the seaweed. So he didn't, quote unquote, die in vain, I guess, because they got this back.
Yeah,
and so it's in Science Lady's hands, and immediately, this guy's dead, and everyone's like, "Oh wow, that sucks. Guy's dead. All right, I guess let's press on."
Right, we got a job to do.
And so Science Lady starts. I don't remember what the exact sequence of events are. I don't remember if the stuff starts to mutate in her fish tank before, or the giant squid tentacle things start ripping the submarine apart. It really doesn't matter.
I think it's just her fish tank first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I guess she's just like, well, I got this. She has a sizable fish tank in her spacious submarine laboratory, and
there's so much room on this sub.
But I mean,
which was like,
she's got a nice fish tank in there, and it's like, I guess I'll plop this kelp that doesn't make any sense in the fish tank with all the fish, because that seems like a good idea.
Let's just see what happens. And it doesn't go well.
No, because a fish gets flown out of the aquarium, and she's like, the hell? Mm-hmm. And rather than pick the fish up and put it back in, I don't know, he must have flipped himself out of there. She's like, poke, poke, poke. Oh, look, he's got
stuff on him.
He's got weird kelp pubes on him.
Yes. She takes a sample of the pubes.
I don't know.
Kelp pubes.
Yeah, I don't know. He's got what looks like steel brush thing under its gills or something.
And she studies it.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah, this is about when the ship gets attacked by more tentacles, right?
Well, it's when it gets attacked by the sheet. The upside down jellyfish.
Oh, that's right, because they were ready to leave, and they're like, "Oh wait, we can't leave."
Yeah, we gotta find the black box or whatever. But oh no, we've been swallowed by a jellyfish.
Yeah,
yeah,
and it's just this blobby thing just comes up and wraps around the sub.
Looks like they're being attacked by cotton candy.
Yeah,
like unflavored cotton candy.
Yeah, and so Jack Scalia is reverse the polarity to the neutron field, and
keep in mind he's run up to the bridge, or wherever to say this.
Captain, guess what? I know what to do.
If we put everything through the deflector dish and reverse the polarity on those neutrinos, then we can
shock it.
Yeah.
Because everybody else in there's like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah. And Ray Wise is like, yeah, that'll work. And Arlie Hermy's like, are there any downsides to that? And he's like,
we could
fry everything.
Yeah, the entire electrical system could go down, but we're already going to die. Because this is where they start yelling about, if this thing's not meant to go below 35,000 feet, and if it keeps dragging us down, we're dead.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a fuck it, whatever. Try his
shock
first polarity thing.
So they shock the thing, and
it works.
Shock the kelpie,
and it goes away. And we never see that thing again.
Nope.
Whatever that was, I don't know.
But the submarine's hurting, and I guess still sinking, and so
hang on.
All right,
because he's saved the day, and Arlie Ermey's like, all right, come see me in my office.
Right? No, that's what I'm saying. Not yet, because the submarine's still sinking, and he's like, I got this,
right.
and he's like, all right, there's a little shelf over there. Put her down.
Yep.
And these little, I don't know why a submarine has this, but these little magical feet come down, and it basically does a landing on this little shelf, and everyone's like, fuck yeah, way to go, guy.
Sweet. Thanks for building the sub and knowing what
Everyone's
to do.
high-fiving him.
Thanks for building landing gear into the sub.
Totally needed it.
Because you never know.
Right. You may just have to land your sub.
And he's got the smarmies look at me look on him. And
I'm dope.
Everyone's practically high-fiving him, and, Skeets. Yeah. This is when Skeets walks over, takes off some little charm bracelet he has, and hands it to him. He's like, what is it? What is this?
He says, it used to bring me luck, but this is yours now.
Yeah. He's like,
and then he goes,
you're my kind of white boy.
Yeah. You're my kind of white boy.
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Skeets. And he's like, I've been waiting my whole life for someone to sell me that, Skeets. Thank you.
Yeah.
I never need to watch The Blind Side or The Help or anything else ever did.
Nope.
To which Arlie Ermey is just like, all right, come to my quarters now.
Mm-hmm.
And so he goes there and basically is told, yeah, you saved us, but don't do that again. It is basically the gist
kind of.
what he tells.
He's like, you came in and you told us what to do instead of offering a suggestion and letting me make the decision. Don't do that again. Mm-hmm. I'm the captain here. But
good job.
But by the way, you can come back on the
thanks a lot.
Now.
But Wix kind of has a point where he's just like, yeah, if I hadn't done that, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. Mm-hmm. And he's like, you kind of got me there, but, whatever. You can come in the control room because there's only 5 people on this ship anyway.
Sure. There's plenty of room in here.
400,000 square foot ship.
But that's when they get the SOS signal.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And Ray Wise is like, guys,
Hey, I got something better than a black box by evil, candy cane over there. Or,
Yeah.
Whatever.
yeah, it's a thing. Let's go
candy
get
cane.
it. Let's go
Cotton
get the
candy.
thing.
Cotton candy.
Yeah.
So they-
We got live survivors. We'll go get them in the SOS.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and they somehow like
Well, the ship is like miraculously fixes itself because like it was like we're not going anywhere. We should probably leave, and then all of a sudden it's like, nah, we can go.
You just have to recharge.
Yeah.
You're fine. But so they go through this little tunnel area and wind up in a
Underground cave.
around
Or
And
underwater cave.
They surface and they're like, sweet, let's suit up and go poke around at shit. Mm-hmm. Figure out where the signal's coming from.
Yeah.
No, I'm curious. Like scientifically speaking, I honestly don't understand this. How would there be air under there? I
It's
mean,
a pocket.
It's a pocket, but like, would it get used up and never like come back?
Yes, it would not be oxygenated.
Right. I mean, wouldn't it, like
The
come out of
plant
the
life
water?
that's in there is producing
Yeah.
the oxygen.
But how is
There
there plant
can't be
life?
plant life because there's no photosynthesis.
It's alien plants.
Okay, but
But you don't necessarily need photosynthesis to create oxygen. There could be another.
It's space oxygen.
Spoxygen?
Spoxygen, yeah. There's stuff that lives around those crazy air vents.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, those crazy hot water, not air vents. Those crazy hot water vents down at the bottom of the ocean.
sure.
Who knows what could create oxygen? Maybe it just like hangs out there. That's where the oxygen goes for weekends. and
Maybe
parties.
what we're saying is that science doesn't know everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus put it there.
Yeah, sometimes you got to let go and let God.
Right.
Yeah.
So, either way,
Jesus,
there's
take the
oxygen down there.
submarine.
Jesus, take the big steering wheel.
Jesus, take the keel.
Right. Yeah, there you go. It's driving me nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they take basically everybody but Ray Wise and Arlie Ermy goes out there
Yes.
to find out what's going on.
Both people that know how to drive the ship.
Yeah.
Because there was also like a helmsman, like the I keep calling her the lady, whatever. Anna, the
Yeah.
Ellie Pouget lady is like
She's the Ellie Boucher lady.
Ellie Pouget, the lady, is like a navigator. She's not typically actually driving the ship. She's just telling the helmsman where to
Right.
actually go.
Yes.
But like anyone who has any knowledge of piloting the ship has left the ship
Yes.
and gone on a raft.
Right.
And
Yeah.
with stupid, barely covering their face, face masks and breathing
They're
apparatus.
basically in decontamination suits.
Yeah.
They're not in any kind of like, oh dear God, we're in an unknown underwater cavern.
However, they are armed.
yes, with
They've been
experimental
given
weapons.
experimental underwater weapons that they're using
Yeah.
in the air.
They're basically funky shotgun things.
Because Arlie Ermy's like, these are powerful, don't use them.
Yeah, because
But here.
well, they're powerful, but like we don't know like if you shoot somewhere, you might destroy the cave.
Right.
It's perfectly pressurized right now, but it's hanging by a thread.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, so they all get on a little dinghy. They go off and they split up to go find that black box.
Sure.
So they're
Yeah.
wandering around. They're also being tracked, I guess, on the boat.
Yeah,
Like on the sub,
they've got
they've
these
got a little
weird
tracker thing.
laser pointer tricorder things that make no sense in
Yeah.
any technology.
But
Sure.
anyway, eventually, they're all just wandering around these caves, and one guy's like, what's in that hole over there? I should stick my face in it. Because I never saw Alien, did I? Nope. So he looks in, and then this bug tentacle thing basically smacks him in the face. Like, I mean, he's got the decontamination thing on, but
It
it smacks
headbutts
him in the
him, yeah.
face, and he's just like, ah, and then everyone's like, man, what the
That's
fuck happened to you?
Yeah, what's up, bro?
Yeah. And they're like, oh my god. And did they shoot the thing then?
Sure.
No.
No, they don't.
No,
it
they
it
don't.
just kind of like pokes him in the face and then runs away.
Yeah. Because
Okay.
there's not like chaos
Yeah.
for another few
Yeah,
minutes.
These things are the things that attack them and then are about to come out of all the holes are like without the typewriter part are like the creatures from Naked Lunch. I mean,
Yeah.
they're like overly large, like kind of stupid looking bug
Yeah.
things.
They're like big flies with no wings. They're just
Yeah, kind of.
Fly
Big
worms.
eyes and
yeah.
Fly,
But they're
eyes.
just, they're like whack-a-moles.
Aye,
They're
aye,
just
aye.
popping out of these these holes.
yeah.
But there's also like
they just want to smooch.
But immediately he goes into like the and they run over. They're like, oh, he's paralyzed, and
And smartest like horror movie or suspense movie move ever. The woman's like, "Ah, fuck this guy."
Well, in her defense, like,
Well, they
she has
drag
good
him away
reason.
for a few seconds. They're like,
Yeah.
we can save him, and then he starts convulsing,
Yeah.
and not only that, like,
things are rippling underneath his decontamination suit.
I think he also does the kill me thing, and she's like,
Yeah.
good point.
Yeah,
Blood, ow.
probably should.
to be fair, like, not like even just like the alien style, like, oh, a thing is maybe going to burst out of my chest. Like, I mean, his whole suit is jumping.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Everything's
just basically
going
put
nuts.
a fan in his
Yeah,
jacket.
he's rippling like crazy underneath the suit, and
Yeah.
then they take his mask off, and there's all like black and red blood coming out of his mouth and his eyes, and they're like, yeah, he's pretty fucked. So she shoots him with the shotgun thing,
Right in
and
the face.
his head, like,
disappears.
There's no longer
like
a head there.
giblets.
Yeah, less chunky than Scanners. I mean, it is like nothing left. But
Yeah, they
red.
Gallagher that watermelon pretty
Yeah.
good.
we're like, oh wow,
Yeah.
ultraviolence all of a sudden.
Huh. How
'Cause
about
before
that?
it, like when the other guy gets attacked, it's basically just like, oh no, the water turned all red around him.
Well, ultraviolence to the point that like it's really good they were wearing those decom suits because like somebody just takes like an air cannon with blood and guts things and just goes to like Ellie's face and it's just like
yeah,
and I'm sure like right after the cut she was like, all right, get this shit the fuck off me because she's
Yeah.
just coated.
yeah, and from here on, it's like these things are popping out whack-a-mole style everywhere, and everyone is blowing them up. And when they hit them, they just are just
It's just an air
evil,
cannon
evil
of-
dead chunks of
Yeah.
like this thing was just full of red goo, and we're blowing it up now.
Yep.
And that's
Which
all
is
fun.
great.
That's all fun for like 3 to 5
Sure.
minutes.
Yeah,
And there's some other thing that's on land, some bigger creature that attacks someone's leg,
yeah.
and it's just like,
There's
I
a
got your
dragon.
leg.
So this
Yeah,
is
sure, a dragon.
This is where the problem and where
It
the
looked
movie
like a dragon.
100 I mean, there were bad special effect things with the submarine and not making any sense about how deep they were, or icebergs, or anything, or even what was happening. But like, I get like, okay, there's going to be creatures, but like this basically becomes like the evil menagerie of Dr. Moreau underwater because there's just going to be weird shit popping out with zero explanation until the end, and then the explanation's completely dumb.
Yeah.
Because these bug things are like, all right, there's these weird underwater bug things, great, but then suddenly, just out of nowhere, there's tentacle, claw thing with big teeth, and
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, eventually they find where the SOS is coming from, and
It's a room.
yeah, it's a room like with computers and all sorts of
Well, yeah, they're walking in. They're like,
like a
it's,
lab.
they're like they radio in. It's like it's a lab.
Yeah.
Like, there's computer equipment everywhere and supplies, and this is
Yeah.
a fully,
Yeah,
fully
and-
functional thing here.
and the guy that was at the controls is basically just like a skeleton.
Yeah, with his finger on the SOS button.
But I mean, up until this point, we're thinking like, oh, okay, so the Siren 1 escaped here because like there's shit in the cave where it's like, oh, maybe they salvaged some things
Yeah.
and crashed here and are surviving.
Yeah, we're like,
but then they're like, no, there's a whole lab going on here.
Yeah.
Like this is more than just what they would,
They built
take,
this.
Yeah, this is just taking off a submarine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
there-
while this has been going on, the weird eyebrow guy who had been running, I guess, the engine room or whatever, he finds what has mutated out of all the kelp samples they brought in, which is tentacles that have just taken over this room.
Yeah.
And so he gets attacked, and
He does not get attacked.
He does the least scientific thing possible. He walks in, he's like, "What is this?" And then walks over and like runs his hand down this tentacle,
Oh,
like
yeah.
he's like,
Yeah.
Given
just
this
like,
thing
what's
of-
this gooey cord? Let me just run my fingers
yeah.
all over it. And then, it gets all over him. So,
well, he's like stroking this alien goo
Yeah.
thing off, and then it's just like,
Well, he's
"Oh."
German, so.
well, yeah. Well, then the thing is just like, oh, and
yes.
finishes all over him
Yes,
and
it
all over
does.
his arm, and then it just immediately he's like, my hand. And,
Yeah. And he slumps over in a corner for the other guy to come and find him at
Yeah,
some
well,
point.
he's making all kinds of noise, and then the chef guy,
Yeah.
the cook, is like walks in, and is like, oh, Sacre Bleu,
No.
run. Yeah.
No. And at some point, there's mention that all the shit's in the water supply. or whatever.
Because he radios the bridge. He's like, Captain, get down here immediately. And they come in and they see, eyebrows, Burt Reynolds, German Burt Reynolds guy, just like pulsating too. And they're like, fuck this shit, close the door.
Yeah.
And then very quickly, they come up with this idea. I think some of them came back to the ship before this happened, because I'm pretty sure Dr. Lady was there and she
Yeah.
had not previously been on the ship.
Yeah.
Like some of them came
A couple
back.
of them came back.
But anyway, she's just like, oh, well, that suddenly is in this room, in my lab, and this, it's the water supply.
Yeah.
It got into the water supply, and that's how it's moving. And he's like, well, what rooms have this? He's like, this room, this room, this room. He's like, all right, close them off.
Yeah. And they asked the guys, like, what were you doing? He's like, well, I was drinking a glass of water. And he's like, from the tap, and it's
The
like,
ship's water?
yes, what's wrong with that? And it's like,
Well, the ship doesn't know.
Arlie Ermey's just like, hey, just back on into this room, and I'm just going to close the door here.
just gotta shut this.
And we're done with that guy.
Sorry.
We assume he dies a painful, slow, horrible death, but I don't think they ever show him ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't
'Cause
see him
They
again,
lock
yeah.
him in a room, and he's like, guys, what?
Guys,
Yeah.
I feel fine. I feel happy.
Well, I guess he's on the
Oh.
sub when the
Yeah.
Yeah, he comes up later.
Yeah, he
That's right.
does.
He
Yeah.
does.
yeah.
You just don't recognize him.
Oh, right. Poor feller.
But yeah, I mean, so like this thing is spreading around the ship. All the other people are shotgun blasting everything in the cave and trying to get away. And
Yeah.
all there is that I love that there's self-destruct button. The skeleton that has died pushing the self-destruct button or the SOS button is like apparently you have to keep touching the button because as soon as they like remove the
It
skeleton
stops.
hands, it stops. It's like that is a terrible SOS.
It's a pretty bad system.
Yeah, it's like an intercom button, not an SOS.
But I'm pretty sure that's straight from a Star Trek episode.
All right.
They just ripped that right off.
Oh god, what even happened? So
There's a dude who gets his leg ripped off.
Yeah.
And Anna like is trying to save him and then gets
Philippe.
separated from everybody.
yeah, I think it was the other diver dude.
Yeah.
Philippe.
It's tough to tell because everybody's in decontamination
Yep.
suits.
Yep. And half of
all
them
you hear
died
is
like
yelling simultaneously.
Yeah.
Yeah. But eventually the rest of them get back to the ship.
They get back to the ship, but then they go right back out again.
Because Anna got left behind. Everyone got back except for her because
Oh,
she was
right.
dealing with a leg cut off guy who died immediately
Right.
because his leg goes cut off.
And they're like, we're going to get Anna.
And then it was like, we're not leaving out her. And she's fine. Somehow she's surviving. She's shotgunning everything and surviving.
Mm-hmm.
And just back. It's great because she's backing away from everything and narrating what's happening. It's like, now I'm here and I'm in this place and this is happening now. And oh God, his leg is gone. And then now this is happening. And now I'm in this place. And she backs her way into
A different
a
lab.
cage room, like an animal experiment cage room.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm in a room full of cages, but there's nothing in the cages.
Yeah. And
It's
while
really
she's
weird
doing
in
this,
here.
basically everybody but Ray Wise has left the ship now. Even Arlie Ermey's in a suit.
Right.
And he's like, all right, let's go
Well, when
do
you say
this.
everybody, it's like there's like 5 people left now.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's
Are there 5 people?
maybe 4, maybe
Maybe
3.
Yeah, it's
3
Wix,
people?
It's Wix, the ex-wife, Skeets,
Uh-huh.
Arlie
Skeets.
Ermey, and Ray Wise.
Yeah.
And then Anna, whatever she's doing,
Right.
running around.
And Ray Wise is on the
On the
ship
boat,
still,
yeah.
and the rest of them go out.
Yeah.
looking for Anna.
Are dead or dying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's running around and narrating, and she's like, I'm in this place, and oh God, tentacle. And she gets taken all screen,
Yeah,
off screen.
she finds a room with like a giant generator, and like she gets sucked into the generator thing.
Yeah, there's
No.
like this big glowing orb above it, and she's looking at
No,
that.
that's the DNA accelerator that she gets
Oh.
sucked into.
right.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I yes.
Yeah, because there's some talk.
I think there was a sign on it,
A
but
genetic lady at some point is talking about it. She's like, "Well, I don't know what would have made this stuff grow. Maybe a DNA accelerator, but no one knows how those works, and that would be crazy." and Ray
Wix is
Wise
like-
is all shifty eyed, like, "Yeah, that's really weird."
Yeah, that's the weirdest.
and Wix was
thing.
like, "Oh, well, actually, didn't he say like actually there's somebody who's been working on that shit? Pretty smart. They probably figured it out.
Probably read about it in one of his journals.
or Omni.
Could have read about
Yeah, Omni. They do name drop Omni about 40 minutes earlier in the movie.
it. Right.
So yeah, Anna's been taken off screen, grabbed. We assume dead because everyone else that's been touched by these things is dead immediately.
Yep.
Everyone else is like trying to track her down and wanders into the lab. Oh, one thing she does is like, I'm going to set off a flare, and she shoots some red barrels and they explode. So that's basically how they find her. Is they're
It's
like,
not a flare.
they-
She just blasts
Well,
something until it's on fire.
It's great because she blasts herself back into the cage room because like she goes like I'm gonna send you a flare, bam, and like
Yeah.
blows herself through this hole into the cage room, and so they find the smoking remains. They're like, oh, she must have gone through here, and then they enter this room and suddenly they're like, this is where the Dr. Moreau thing, like the gloves are off. We're gonna tell you about all this that they've been doing, genetic experiments and mixing things, and they see all these cages and stuff, and then they find these little pod things that have, well, they're supposed to be like human combinations with various whatever sea creature things they've made, but the thing that they find basically looks like Mac from Mac and Me,
Yeah.
in just some kind of
Just older.
embryonic fluid shit.
Yeah.
And they knock one over, and it's like laying on the ground, like
And they're like, "Man, that's really weird.
yeah, that's pretty fucked up.
That's not right,
And,
man."
and the great thing is, like, we, the audience now, like, are suddenly treated to like this terrible, like, again, like Star Trek era matte shot.
Yeah.
Where, like, they're walking in and they're looking at these, like, balls of whatever goo, and there's this giant like starfish vagina on the wall.
Chocolate starfish on the
It's-
wall.
It's this fucking weird ass like giant thing, and we're like, the fuck is that? And they don't see it.
No. Well, until suddenly this thing launches something out of the middle of it and grabs Skeets.
Well, not yet, because the first they walk over to the DNA accelerator, like, fuck, holy shit, it's a DNA accelerator.
right.
And
Yes.
then, like, suddenly it cuts to, like, we see the green bubble, and there's Anna in there, and she's all, mutated up,
Yeah.
and she's like, kill me,
Right.
blow it up. And that's when the starfish wakes up and
That's its sign to come out.
Yeah, it reaches out and like
Yeah, and Skeets goes, holy shit, look at that fucking thing. And so they start shooting at it, but then it suddenly grows like a tentacle beak thing.
Yep.
That comes all the way out, reaches to the floor, and Skeets goes, oh shit.
Yep.
And then it grabs the top half and picks him up to drag him up, and he goes, oh shit.
And it goes
as he
back like a
dies.
retractable cord. It's like
Yeah.
they just yank it once and it just
Yep.
sucks it right back. I mean, he is gone quick.
Yeah. I just appreciate that he got to go out yelling, oh shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he had a good bit earlier when they first got onto the rafts to go investigate. He was like, "Oh, I guess y'all want me to go first, huh?"
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you know these movies pretty well, don't you, guy? But yeah, then it's just Arlie Ermey's like, "Oh, barrels,
Yeah,
okay,
shoot the barrels.
shoot the barrels."
and it's cool because like the whole place explodes, but it makes no sense because there's just one little pile of barrels, and then it sets off some other pile of barrels, and they themselves should be completely dead, especially if this place had bad structural integrity because the whole place explodes,
That place fucking
and
goes up.
and the DNA accelerator explodes, and somehow they're just like, yeah, we're fine, we got
The
out.
chocolate starfish explodes.
Sure, yeah.
Everything explodes.
Yeah, and they head back to
You get an explode, then you get an
Well,
explode.
okay, so all the explosions happen, and then Ray Wise sees that all their life signs are no longer on the scanner thing. And he's like, haha, sweet, mission accomplished. He actually says, mission accomplished
Yep.
to nobody. No one is in the room. There's no one to hear him say it.
He says it. He hangs a banner behind him.
Yeah.
You would say that no one was none the wiser.
Yes, that's what
None
I
the
would
Ray
say.
Wiser.
Yes. And so he's just like, I'm going to get in the escape pod, and I'm out.
Yeah, I got to prep the escape pod and whistle my way there.
Yeah, my job's done. I was supposed to. This is exactly how it was supposed to go. Good job, everybody.
He's evil. This is 1990 or 89, whatever that's when the copyright is. But he's evil whistling what, as you pointed out, basically sounds like the Game of Thrones theme.
It's weird. He's doing the opening notes of the Game of Thrones theme.
Kind
It's
of,
really
yeah.
strange.
It's weird.
I was like, hey, that's no way is he doing that. But yeah, then he sees them coming back. And he's like, ah, shit. And he's got to pretend like I wasn't leaving.
no, I think something wasn't going to work. Like I think it was like the depth that they were at. The thing wasn't going to work, so he was going to take the whole sub.
Oh, well.
Or something like that. Because like he starts like he was pressure locking everything, and I'm going to just take the whole damn sub away.
So he was going to close the hatch because it wouldn't submerge without
Right.
the hatch closed, and then he was going to take the sub and blow up the rift to hide all the evidence, and then
Because that's
escape
why he
in
was
the
there in
escape
the first
pod.
place.
All right.
Right.
Okay,
So he was just
But yes, it begins the unnecessarily slow dipping mechanism as it's like everything's like closing up and he's prepping and they're running towards the ship and of course Wick
Wick Martindale.
no Wick is like oh shit, well if we depressurize the hatch then it won't be able to submerge, so quick, let's turn on this, and of course it lets them in.
Yep.
And they get into the ship, and then immediately they're just like, well, let's get to business. He couldn't possibly have been, betraying us or anything, because they're just kind of standing around and I think like observing the damage and like how much the weird evil kelp has grown throughout the ship. And then all of a sudden he's just like, he's behind his ex-wife and it's like, haha, I have a gun. Just somehow sneaks completely into the room and it's like, I have a gun on her, turn around.
Yeah.
And go
The
slowly.
chick is up.
And
Hey.
just holds them all at gunpoint and starts evil monologuing his entire plan of like, I would have gotten away with it, and I needed it to look like an accident, and they'd blame it on you and your poor design.
Yeah.
Even though we totally fucked with the submarines, and I don't. This is all super convoluted because I don't understand what the plan is. They had this evil lab, but they needed to recover data from it, but then blow the whole fucking thing up. I don't know, but eventually he's like, all right, everyone back into the room where all the evil kelp tentacles are.
Yeah. You're
it's
going to
like-
die in here and then die.
And everyone's just
twice.
like, sure, yeah, that seems fine. I wouldn't possibly risk a bullet. I'm just going to go in here and get, kelp mutilated because that seems like that's worked out really well from everybody. I'd much rather die a painful, slow death than possibly getting shot, as we all bum rush you.
But should have listened to Ben Carson, man.
Yeah.
Everyone rush him at once.
That's right.
He can't shoot all of us, right?
Nope, that's the plan.
Right.
But they don't.
No, they don't.
But also, like, Jack Scalia has stolen a chip out of some.
Well, that's after they get locked in the room, I think. You think they get out of the room and into a safer part of the room, and he goes through a crawl space and it's like, pulls out a power board and gets on the camera and is like, hey, Ray Wise, this little 50-cent chip here. Actually, first he says it's like 39 cents, and then he goes, this little 50-cent chip right here can fuck up the whole submarine. It's the only one on the submarine. Ha! And I'm going to pull out my lighter and threaten to burn it up.
Yeah.
And he's like, God damn it. And he's like, well, can we talk about this? He's like, yeah, this is the best part. He goes, yeah, we can talk about it after you let us out. Click.
And he gives him like the menacing look, too.
Oh, yeah. But he agrees because he doesn't think he has a choice, and he goes down there and opens the door. And this is when they come up with this plan where they're still wearing their stupid hazmat suits or whatever.
Yeah.
And we, the audience, completely know what's going on because, like, they've got what looks like, they're attending to the captain on the ground who's hunched over, but it's clearly just a suit and no person in it.
It looks exactly like somebody stuffed one of those Tyvek suits with a bunch of newspapers.
Yeah. And of course, that's exactly what it is because the captain's right behind the door. So as soon as you open it, he's like, ha! And they start struggling and they get the gun away. And then Arlie Ermy at some point finally gets the upper hand because he gets knocked down at first, but he finally gets the upper hand. He's like, fuck this shit. Grabs Ray Weiss and like just rubs his face into one of the kelp tentacle things.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
like,
into the dead body.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what it was?
Which is
Okay.
the dude that they had locked in that room earlier that
Yeah.
we forgot about.
Yeah.
But I mean, he
He's
he
kelped up.
smashes his head against the floor like 4 or 5 times. Like he easily had him done. And then he's like, you know what? Fuck this guy. So he rubs his face on disintegrating tentacle guy.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that'll do.
yeah, you're going to get moisted by your own
Yeah,
petard.
Enjoy.
and hops out of the room, shuts the door, and then Ray Wise comes up to the window, just like, "Fuck me!"
Yeah.
melting.
Yeah,
and
I just did that.
I was just hoping that he would explode.
Yeah. We were hoping for some good scanners, explosion types.
Yeah, because I mean they've already exploded a dude's face earlier in the movies. We're like, come on.
Yeah. No, they didn't quite establish
But no,
it.
they just leave him screaming at the door, going, I'm melting my
Well,
face."
he's got weird pulsating shit all over his face.
Sure.
It's
Yeah.
like I don't have a problem with it because it's like I like to imagine him having this horrible death rather than see it maybe a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But so they're like, all right, let's just blow this fucking thing up and jump in the escape pod. We'll be out of here. We got to blow all this up, and we're going to use the nuclear reactor on the sub to do it.
Yep.
And Arlie Ermy goes back up to the command bridge, goes boop boop boop, and then goes, "You have 120 seconds before self-destruction."
Right.
And we're like, "What? that doesn't seem right."
Pro tip for self-destruct designers out there:
Give yourself
give
a
your
few
folks
extra
some time.
minutes.
Yeah, like 30 minutes, an hour.
Yeah.
or make it selectable. So maybe
Yeah.
what if I trip on my way to the escape pod?
It's not
You're
like there's-
fucked.
It's not like, oh, if we leave it for an hour, somebody else will show up and
Right.
they might
Yeah,
get
not
blown
down
up.
there.
It's a fucking submarine.
Yeah.
It's not an apartment building where someone's going to come next door and go, oh my God, my neighbor set their self-destruct.
Yeah, and
we
even
turn
if Ray
that off.
Wise gets out, Ray Wise will want to be dead.
Yeah.
He'll be like, please blow this thing up.
Yeah, I can't wait for the sweet release of death.
But
Yeah.
it takes way longer than 120 seconds for them to run around the ship. They're running to the escape pod.
Oh, God.
And they get to one bulkhead, and Arlie Ermy's like, "Yeah, go on, get ahead." And then he closes the bulkhead behind him. They're like, "What? What are you doing? Why aren't you coming with me?" And he like holds his arm up, and he's got pulsating black goo stuff
Yep.
on him. And he's just like, "Later, y'all."
Yeah.
Thanks for
Captain's going down with the ship.
let me in your movie.
And so like they go jump in the escape pod or are prepping up, and he's walking around, goes back in his office. Like there's this whole like long lingering shots where he goes in his office. I think I'm assuming he's looking at a picture of his wife and the giant American flag he has in his spacious 9,000 square foot office that he has on the
Yeah.
submarine. And just like all these logging shots and the doors open really slowly and the escape pod comes out. It's like, this is all 120 seconds, really?
Totally.
And the escape pod gets out of the doors and starts going up, and shit blows up, and they kind of look at each other and are like, we don't hate each other anymore, right? And they grab hands, and the movie fades to black.
Yep.
It's like they got away. Oh, he also has the discs. He has the discs that they got from the lab that explain the whole evil plot or whatever.
Yeah,
The
because there
data
was like an
discs.
Event Horizon moment of let's watch the tapes and figure out what the fuck happened and whatever.
Yeah, some guy's like, oh, that's not my friend that I was looking for, but it's his assistant, and
Yeah.
they must have been doing this.
They
and
did some
blah,
shady
blah,
shit.
blah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Rift. The end.
How did we talk about that for this long?
This is the biggest submarine in the history of submarine movies.
It's pretty big.
Yeah.
It's big. It's big on the inside.
Oh,
Yes.
it is bigger. On
It's
the
bigger on both the inside and the outside.
No,
Okay.
it's smallish for like. I mean, for a research submarine, it's probably pretty big. But on the inside, it's fucking enormous. It's just ludicrously large, and I just couldn't get over that. It seemed like I know they're only going back and forth between like 3 rooms total, but they also had like hallways, and they had a grand kitchen, and
Grand kitchen.
yeah, I'm sure they had a ballroom somewhere,
Probably.
and a ball pit.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. Despite a couple people starting to freak out, I don't think anyone goes quite full ensign, which
Nope.
is unfortunate because there were probably some ensigns on the ship.
From
But,
the same producing duo that brought us Leviathan.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yep.
Leviathan's way better.
Yes.
Yeah,
is.
that is true.
I guess I'll go ahead and go. There are things about this movie that at times feel like they're going to be enjoyable. I mean, there are things that in the moment are okay, but on a whole, the movie's dull, and it's really not very long, and that's saying a lot when a movie's like 80 minutes and still feels dull. I want to give it some credit for some of its practical effects, like the bug squishy and the head squishing and all that, but like the miniature stuff is fucking terrible. And like I said, that matte painting of the chocolate starfish is like seriously Star Trek original series level of bullshit. Like, I mean, it looks like it was like cool with Forbidden Planet, but like doesn't work now, you know. Yeah, I don't know, 2 bags. It's not awful, but like I'm going that far down that if someone said, "Hey, you want to watch The Rift again?" I'd be like, "Nah, I really don't." It wouldn't be the worst thing ever, but I really don't.
Yeah. I don't.
That's it. That's all I got.
Okay. I don't disagree with any of that. It's a mess. There's a couple of highlights in it where you're like, that was all right, but man, it is just nonsense.
It is.
Start to finish, like 20 minutes in, I was like, I don't know what's happening. Then 40 minutes in, I was like, I don't know what's happening. And then when it was over, I was like, what just happened? Why were they going? What did they succeed? Did they win? What happened? I don't know. 3 bags.
Well, several of them lost. Because
Many
they're-
of them lost.
because they're dead now.
Yes. Too many of them
That
lost.
is considered the ultimate loss.
Yes, truly sorry for your lots.
But you know, I mean, and for as much as like Leviathan was a ripoff and Deep Star 6 was a ripoff, at least they were structured like a first, second, and third act and told a story that was like, okay, yeah, I get what's
it
happening.
doesn't happen like the climax. The most exciting thing that could be happening in your movie is filled by a bunch of people wearing weird white hazmat suits.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like if you tried to give personalities and make you care about all the people in like fucking Super Inframan or some shit like way back in the day, where it's like, I don't know, there's 50 dudes running around in the same jumpsuit. I don't give a fuck about any of them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're going to have a point of late in that all that business of having a character rip off their mask and basically be like, it's okay, we can breathe, then you should have done that first and then let everyone's personality be in that scene so
Sure.
at least you know who's dead.
I mean, as much as we all bitch about that in like Prometheus,
Yeah.
you know, at least they were like, fuck it.
Yeah.
You know, we're on an alien planet. Yeah, the air works. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
good. Take off the mask. Let's have some personalities.
I mean, there was more reason to suspect there was oxygen in here because there were people in there.
Yes.
So they might as well give it a shot early on, but now they've wasted that.
Yep.
Whatever, 3 bags.
Ooh. Vicious. This is a gross misuse of R. Lee Ermey.
Yes.
That is the thing that I'm very disappointed about.
Yeah.
We have in the first 2 minutes that R. Lee Ermey shows up, we have the opportunity for him to, you know, to just explode with rage and motherfuckers and maggots and, you know, whatever else he decides to call somebody probably on the spot.
And
But we
and
don't-
the submarine itself had a major malfunction.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He should
And-
have said that.
Right.
Hey, submarine, what is your major malfunction?
And they don't take advantage of, like, so R. Lee Ermey is not a bad, turns out he's not a bad actor per se. He can portray a character as long as it's within a narrow range.
As long as it's a military guy of
Yeah,
some
I was going
kind.
to say, as
Yeah.
long as it involves the
Figure
word
of authority.
authoritative.
Yeah.
Right.
He has one of the best lines in 7.
I don't remember that line.
He just picks up a phone. This is not even my desk. It's like, that's how he answers the phone. It's like, well, what are you doing?
I need to see that again now. But they just don't do anything exciting with R. Lee Ermey, and they could get any other, high and tight, coiffed, grizzled-looking dude to replace him, and then the rest of the movie is kind of a weird mess. You guys already mentioned the things I like and most of the things I don't like. I don't think there's really much of anything else. I didn't really hate it necessarily. No. It's just like, according to the IMDb trivia, it is like Dino De Laurentiis, who produced Leviathan, also produced this movie. Mm-hmm. So he ripped off his own movie, only did a shitty job.
Well, they had it
a year later.
Well, I was going to say they had to be being made at almost the exact same time.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah,
just with a tenth of the budget this time.
It's just
it's
so weird. Like, why would I don't know why you would do that, but when you do, you end up with a movie like this, which is just kind of forgettable. Like I might remember how stupid that chocolate starfish was, but that's about it.
I love that we're all saying that.
It's so good. I mean,
it wasn't even chocolatey.
It was brown.
Not really.
And probably smelled bad.
Probably,
It did eat skeets, so then maybe it was
It did. Yeah, it ate skeets.
It's a skeeter eater.
a skeetery.
Anyway.
One star would not eat there again.
Yeah, one chocolate star.
Chocolate starfish was clean before skeets got here.
One chocolate starfish, we're in. I will give it 1 bags. It's forgettable. I will not forget about us laughing about chocolate starfish, but
sure.
Yeah, sure.
That's the best thing that this movie gave us, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it's forgettable, but for me, it never made me angry at it. It was dumb. It was just going random places, but I never, like, the main overarching plot doesn't make sense, but everything that everyone was doing kind of made sense to me. And I didn't, like, there were no characters I hated. There wasn't behavior that I was like, you're a fucking idiot, other than guy who wants to rub a tentacle, But who knows? Maybe he's into that anime stuff. I don't know.
German.
But I can give it a single jocks. I wouldn't mind watching it again.
Well,
which is usually my yes or no meter, my jocks or bags meter is, would I watch it again? Yeah, I would watch this again. So I'd have to go 1 jocks, but I can't go much higher than that, obviously. But it is there's a certain incredibly low budget, hey, we've got like 4 sets built here feel to it. And then they have that one set that's that giant room with the gene accelerator in it and the chocolate starfish. And yeah. But yeah, I just wish they had done more with R. Lee Ermey, for sure. Mm-hmm. But at least Skeets got plenty of good lines in, so thanks, Skeets. Rest in peace.
Rest in Skeets.
he did do some Skeets shooting.
Ah, Skeets.
Yes.
Skeets, goddamn.
They spread him from the window to the wall. Yes. Skeet. Motherfucker. Rest in peace, Skeets.
What? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What? Okay. All right, let's take a break, shall we?
Let's do that. That's definitely the best idea. Motherfucker.
Fuck you.
What? So we're going to talk about Spectre second half. Anything else
Planet
at all?
Down. Planet.
Yes.
Nothing? What? What?
Planet.
Explain yourself.
I need to mention Pinball.
Pinball.
Because the director in BMFcast movies is going to be there, and if people are listening, it's worth a mention. We'll take it.
Okay. Fine.
Director Joysticks. Black Shampoo.
You mean Graydon Clark?
Yes, I do. I read his book.
Oh, really?
Are you going to take his book to get signed?
It's a digital copy, so no.
You don't want him to sign your Kindle?
No, I do not.
Oh. Yeah, the Steam controller. It's weird only having one stick.
Yeah.
Like having to use the whole haptic thing.
I could see it working.
I'm liking the click on this less and less.
Yeah.
I mean, the buttons feel all right, but the click is very...
Well, he was saying the click is a different button entirely. It's still touch thumb pad. So those are like extra buttons. You probably never even...
I mean, kind of. I like the idea of the trigger having a throw and then a click in. That was my favorite thing from the GameCube. Was that throw that it had, and then you click it in to do other stuff.
Yes.
I don't like the bumper ones at all. I do kind of like the finger paddles, though.
Finger paddles.
I like that. And I like that it needs enough push to make it do something.
Yeah.
No, you didn't stop the timer.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
Hey, Chuck, stop the timer.
I didn't hear it. I don't hear the cat
It's a
anymore.
carryover joke, Chuck. It's okay.
So, did Bamfcat kill Bamfcat Jr.? Is that why we don't hear her anymore?
Yeah, she's still making noise.
Really?
Especially now that we open the door and are making more noise.
Oh.
She's aware again.
So you figure she had just
Forgot.
lady to rest?
Yeah. Yep. They just decided to do what Wayne's team mother.
Man. Yeah, we haven't said much about Spectre since we talked about it at the theater, at
Well,
Post Theatre.
We haven't had a podcast.
I know.
Close the door.
Sure.
Had to tell that other cat that she was being a big old pussy.
Mm.
How'd you take it?
Like she usually does.
Yeah, the other cat's very sulky right now. She's like...
She's always being a big old pussy.
Well, she does have cute competition
Medium-sized
now.
pussy, I guess. She's, whatever. Average for a cat. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you want to talk about the pinball thing?
I'll do it before we do contact information.
Okay. So, yeah, I think, man.
Verify he's still...
We got some emails, didn't we?
Yeah, but, man, that's the problem when we have something popular on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like, our notification, or like our whole email goes nuts.
Oh.
Oh, I just delete all those, like, so it's already favorited on...
I can't. I can only send them to archive on mine. I think my access is different or something.
I decided to just start using the Gmail app for those two accounts because
Yeah.
I don't know what it is with iOS 9. It keeps breaking Gmail. Have you guys have that? Like, all the damn time. Like, it just keeps deauthorizing itself.
I never had that.
Really?
My wife's Hotmail, which or is Outlook, I guess it is now. They moved it.
I was going to say, she still has a hot...
No, it moved to Outlook, but now it's the hugest hassle.
I just...
But like that one is always desyncing itself or doing dumb things.
I was thinking it was because we all check it. Maybe it's like, I don't know about this, like... So that's why I moved the BMFcast and the No Quatas to like the Gmail app separate from the other one.
All right.
I
Seamless.
just use the Gmail app anyway. So
Yeah. So we have one voicemail and we have one email. So if we feel like getting to, if we can get to them, we can. But if not, not a big deal.
Go ahead and grab the voicemail just in case.
Came in on Monday.
Died on a Tuesday. No, got married on Tuesday. Shit.
Pinball Donut Girl.
What?
I don't know.
yeah, send me a link.
Trying to figure that shit out. Tell me about Pinball.
Hello,
She on
Beth
Next
Cast?
Door?
Is that the one I'm from
Let me
California? I assume 2 days ago. Yeah, you said Monday.
It says, "Hello, Beth Cast."
Mm-hmm.
Bethcast.
Beth Cast.
We'll talk about pinball on this podcast if we goddamn well want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, who said we can't?
We run this shit, Kyle.
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 It's cool. It's cool.
It's fucking terrible, guys.
It's
What?
all on the Bear Suit Studios radio network.
What's terrible?
Totally.
The website, the Free Play Florida website.
Oh yeah.
It's hot garbage. I just want to know who Donut Pinball Girl is.
Donut Pinball Girl?
Yeah,
That's what it says.
that's one of the like scheduled things.
Sweet.
I don't know if it's like a girl walking around handing people donuts, because if that is the
While they're playing pinball?
that would be the dopest thing ever.
No, you don't want sugary fingers all over the
Not my
flipper
pinball
buttons.
table.
Are you
Yeah, but
kidding
you
me?
don't want to
Yeah, but
touch
you
somebody
have
else.
to
I've
touch
got
it after somebody
flavor
else.
crazy flipper fingers. I don't know.
I'm crazy.
You gotta hit
Give
it
us
with
some
that,
candy.
with that little part right by your wrist. You gotta pop, pop.
Oh. Yeah.
Pop,
Oh,
pop.
the magnitude. Yeah, there was a lot of that on the screen in this
Yes.
movie. Pop, pop.
So,
Okay.
Well, Google says that Pinball Donut Girl is a thing, but it doesn't want me to be able to search for it.
Pinball Donut Girl.
Oh, it appears to be a
Pinball
movie
Donut
of some
Girl.
kind.
Oh.
oh, it's
I'll
a
take
new
you
movie.
on-
I'd watch that movie.
It's an indie comedy.
Oh, I bet it's funny.
Oh, well, by this, it's a short film, so it's not going to be that bad. But when a frat boy wearing a tutu meets a pinball-playing townie girl in a colorful San Francisco donut shop, their world begins to tilt.
I get it. It's like a pinball thing.
Pinball puns.
I'll take you.
I'd watch that.
It's 11 minutes. I'd sit there and
Oh,
watch
I'd
it.
watch it.
Okay, I'd spend 11 minutes.
As long as the guy doesn't try to, like, sell
That's
me.
next week, guys.
I know.
Yeah.
Wait, so the people from that short film will be there?
Probably. Trust me, they're not just going to show the short film on their own.
Why not? It involves pinball and tilting.
we should try to get them to
Oh,
let
I
us
already-
screen Pinball Summer.
I already hate this movie.
Oh, okay.
Why?
It's 11 minutes.
Yeah, well, I already know some spoilers about it. I'm not going to spoil it for you.
How could there be fucking spoilers?
There's spoilers on the internet. And
I'm gonna
I
watch
don't-
it.
And I don't like it.
Okay, well, whatever.
Oh, no.
I'm gonna
Did you
watch it.
just read the spoilers just now?
Yes. I was
Okay.
Googling and I was like, what is this? And
I was Googling.
In the, like, image summary, it told me something I probably don't want to know that made me angry for pinball reasons.
But they're on the play Gottlieb tables.
Yes. Yes, it's
Black
all it's
hole.
all about how awesome Black Hole the table is.
They
Oh.
push a Williams System 11 table off a cliff in the movie.
No.
Oh,
Waste of good scotch.
What?
no tickets.
So, we ready to do a second half?
Totally ready for a second half. Let me cover up Chuck's face. It's the best part of the show. Well, look, you're all explosion-y down there. Sorry.
Jokes.
See?
Poor Chuck.
Pop, pop.
Pop, pop.
Alas.
Alas, we knew him well.
Dat alas.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about our animated GIF
Put
that
it
we're
in.
going to make from that movie.
No, the crazy
Oh, I
goggle.
thought we were going to make a Vine.
Crazy
Yeah.
goggles.
A Vine GIF.
Chuck, make a vine.
Okay, here I go.
You should make a Vine GIF.
Easy.
There are already some Veen GIFs out there.
Gross.
There's a dark side of Tumblr.
Yes. It's called Tumblr.
Tumblr is the dark web.
So, second half? We good? All right.
Yeah.
Sure. That straw. You're like BJ with he gets nerd slush.
Sorry. Tastes good.
Anyway,
Root beer spit take.
do you want to timer it or no?
Yes, I do.
All right.
Do it.
That was a request
Do
from
it.
so much as a demand.
Beep.
All right, welcome back.
Hey, BMFcast.
Hey.
Hey,
Hey,
Second half time.
yeah.
it is.
Sweet.
So I guess we all saw the same movie.
Well,
Considering
did we?
we all sat in the same row in the same theater.
Yeah, I think so.
Did that really happen?
Yeah,
did.
Well, I don't know.
we all saw Spectre.
It's the latest James Bond movie.
Respecter.
Respecter?
Oh. Spectre.
Oh, he
R-E-S-P-E-C-T-R.
decided he didn't like his stats in the RPG, and he became a respecter.
Respecter. Yeah.
Okay. Bond 24, right?
Yes.
Yep, the fourth in the Daniel Craig entries.
Yes.
Decrypt?
Bond goes rogue again.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't
Bond
believe
continues to be rogue.
it. Bond can't get anything done by being an MI6, so he has to go rogue.
Mhm.
Again.
I don't know. I don't really know what to say about this movie without being spoilery. Other than like the cold open is fucking awesome.
Yep.
Yep.
The cold open might be, well, I think I don't know. This cold open Skyfall is really good too. I don't know.
Yep.
It's a tough call. I don't know. I was going to say it might be the best Daniel Craig cold open, but then the one in Skyfall is really fucking
It's
good.
a very good cold open.
The one in Casino Royale is super good, too.
God damn it.
They're all good.
Yeah,
like
they really
all
are.
four of them are really good.
Yeah, the cold
Aside
open-
from Quantum of Solace.
That's a
is
good
edited-
cold open, though. Well,
it is, but it's edited like crap.
It is. The editing fails that one.
But it's still pretty damn good.
I don't know. This one has, the thing that always tickles my fancy the most, in that there is a long ass tracking shot that does impossible things to the point that I was like, "Is this a fucking drone? Are they shooting this with a drone?" It seems like the only way they could be doing this, or it's fake.
Yeah.
There are a few.
It's entirely possible that they shot it with it.
Oh, I know there's. I know
there's
it's not
a few places where there's seams.
I know.
Like,
I
you
know
can
there's
tell-
seams. Yes, but I mean, there's still things it does that's like, all right, it's just fucking cool as shit. But, And it starts with that. That's the opening shot of the movie. Is like
Yeah.
what appears to be like a 5-minute long tracking shot that does impossible shit in the middle of a Day of the Dead festival in Mexico City, one of the most populated cities on the face of the planet.
Yeah.
Which just gives you an idea of how fucking crazy this is.
Yeah, it's it starts with a weird, like, I don't want to detail everything, but like the opening title card, like the little sentence that pops up, like the dead or alive or whatever it says,
Yeah.
like that. It's like that seems to be relevant, but yet not.
Yeah.
Like Bond movies don't just throw text up on the screen like that.
Yeah. The
So-
only text they ever show on the screen is, "Here's your location."
Yeah,
And
this is the
maybe
first
a
time.
year
Like,
if
yeah,
time has passed.
Well, they do it at one point in this, but it's like they're showing like Big Ben in Parliament. It's like London.
Yes.
And I think people like actually audibly giggled in the theater, like, no fucking shit. Like, and it was also like the third time they went to London. And
Yes.
It's like London. It's like, yeah, we know.
yeah. Thanks.
You fucking
been
know.
there.
Yeah, yeah.
It's James Bond. We know what fucking London looks like.
But yeah, I think like the cold open does a lot of the things that we all like the cold opens to do, but then there's like one thing that it doesn't do that we were all kind of like, it should totally do that. Why is it not doing that? And then it just stops before it ever.
it basically has a chance to have a Roger Moore moment,
Yes,
is the way I'd say it.
that's accurate. Although it wouldn't have
and-
been bad if they had just
No.
structured it right.
And I was actually surprised that they didn't do that.
Yeah.
I hate that we keep talking around things like this.
It's still
You know.
relatively new, and
But it's like people like Bond's going to get away.
Mm-hmm.
You know Bond lives through the cold open. Just no spoilers there.
Yeah, no.
Bond gets to do the rest of the movie.
yeah, he
Probably.
appears
The
after
thing is,
the
he
opening
doesn't
credits.
he doesn't go back to finish something that he starts earlier.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Which is like
In the very beginning of the movie.
yeah,
okay,
which
yeah.
like going straight back to the hotel is a Bond thing to do, and
Yeah.
they don't do that.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, it's like you want to be there in the editing room, like you want him to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Why isn't he doing it?
Yeah.
Because there'd be even more stupid think pieces than there already are about this fucking
Who
movie.
gives a fuck?
I'm just saying, like,
it's
know.
a Bond movie.
I know.
I will say
It's like the what 2 or 3 year anniversary of like, I don't know, do we need the misogyny of James Bond anymore? Meh, pieces.
That's been happening. For
I know,
Yeah.
I know.
And I'll say this, like, this movie treats women probably the best out of any of the other Bond movies, approaching the best out
Certainly
of any.
not
say
as
yes.
bad as Skyfall. That's for sure.
Like,
Yeah.
Well,
Skyfall is basically him taking advantage of a very emotionally disturbed woman who's been through a ton, and then she just dies. He's just like, well, that happens.
Other than now we don't have M, who kind of is the ultimate
Right.
woman in power, empowerment figure.
yeah, well,
I mean, not the Judi Dench M, I should say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is always going to be an M.
There is, and there still is.
Yeah, I guess what happens, I mean, I'll say this, I liked the movie.
Mhm.
I don't like it as much as Skyfall or Casino Royale, which are like top 5 Bond movies for me.
Yeah.
And just like Skyfall, I rewatched all 3 Craig movies before watching this one. And like the thing about Skyfall is it feels like everyone involved in that movie, everyone, including like the fucking caterers, was at the absolute top of their game every minute they were there. And that's what. And this one does not feel like that at all. Even though it's still Sam Mendes, but you've lost Roger Deakins. Didn't shoot it. It's the guy who shot Interstellar. I can't remember his name now, but he does an okay job. But what's that?
I'm just being a dick.
Yeah, but but it just has a different feel, especially script wise, as it goes.
Yeah, I said this when we came out, and it's a confusing sentence, but it's still my sentiment that, you know, Casino Royale was a masterpiece, and Quantum of Solace is kind of garbage. I mean, it's not awful, but it's not very good, and the editing is the main thing that fails it. This is then you see Skyfall, and it's amazing. This is a better transition from Skyfall than Quantum of Solace was to Casino Royale. It's a better follow-up to a masterpiece than Quantum of Solace was. I mean, by comparison, Quantum of Solace is kind of garbage to Casino Royale.
Yes.
I mean, it's all right in the overall Bond filmography, but not that great.
Yeah, well, it's one of those that, like, there are some good action scenes and really nice shots in it, but when you take it as a whole movie, it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But the big problem I have with Spectre is that the end of Skyfall sets up a lot of, all right, Bond doing classic Bond stuff, and, you know, he's going to be getting a mission from M, and he's going to have to check back in, and he's going to get gadgets from Q, and then, you know, and he's going to flirt with Moneypenny, and it just doesn't play out like that at all. It's almost immediately like, yeah, all that stuff, forget about all that. Bond's got to go rogue, and he can't really be doing anything with them. And then they kind of end up being like his little sidekicks by the end of it. And
which is how they, like, normally are, like, his little sidekicks, but not with that same element, you know?
Yeah, it
feels off like they didn't really need to do this.
It feels
this
like
way.
the thing you do 2 or 3 movies later.
Yeah.
Like the stuff you do when you're like, okay, yeah, he's done that stuff. We can't keep repeating that. It's like they already skipped that step where they're like, we're not even going to do that. We're just going to get to the point where, no, he doesn't need that anymore. He's got to do this thing.
Well, I mean, the weird thing, like, at Skyfall, you know, when you've got your new M, and, you know, he and Bond kind of have a little bit of like, okay, you're my boss now. That's going to be all right. Did Bond ever get a mission from M?
No. Because the thing he does in the cold open is they're immediately like, why were you there? Why were you doing this?
Right. But I mean,
Which is like the Daniel Craig Bond thing.
But like, how much time elapsed between Skyfall and this? Like, had he ever had an official mission?
Well, the previous MI6 MI6 headquarters is still
they
still
haven't
a smoking ruin.
They haven't demolished it yet.
So they were still like operating out of the old, you know, let's have the throwback room essentially.
Right.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Like, the way this movie works, they really needed to, or in what the plot is trying to do in this movie, and what they did sort of thematically, they really should have gone back to a more organic MI6 feel, like we're doing this as MI6, the old school way. And that would have been a great way to do the Bond's greatest hits, which is basically what this movie does.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's basically, we have a list of things we probably want to pull from the from the Sean Connery, George Lazenby era. And it checks off something from every movie. Pretty much. Like Dave Bautista's character is basically Odd Job without the hat.
Bautista.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's fine. And like, that's one of the best parts. Like
it's
and that's
okay to have a big bad henchman. There are several big bad henchmen in the, Bond series.
And it's not like they're doing the whole, like, okay, this is exactly like this. It's kind of like, okay, he's at like the health resort on the top of a mountain in a really cool place. You know, like they do that. They don't do like, okay, now he has to meet with an allergist. You know, they don't go that far, but I like that they kind of recycle those things in a way that's not like, all right, we have to do it exactly like this.
Yeah.
It's like
Batista's also a little bit of Jaws too. He's got metal fingernail things.
Yeah.
It's
right.
It's
he's
kind of
big henchman.
Yeah. I mean, it's like they had a blueprint of stuff. They were like, you know what? Let's make a classic Bond film, but don't make it so obvious that that's what we're doing. It's like they try to come up with a story and reasons for him to go to these places, and by doing so, it's like, this is a throwback to what Bond used to do. but he's doing it rogue, and so in the old movies, he would go to these places and he would meet a local contact, and they would have a little mini adventure. And in this, it's just Bond skulking around places by himself for a long time, which means long stretches of silence, which isn't as compelling as here's local Turkish dude in a fez, and he knows all these things, and he'll probably die at the end of the scene, but at least he's there for a minute.
Yeah,
here's Jodan Baker for some dumb reason.
And he mentions Felix Leiter, but they never show him. So I almost wonder if there's like a deleted scene somewhere of because the whole plot line that Felix Leiter would be involved in vanishes.
Yeah,
like you never hear about that again.
Yeah,
which I mean doesn't necessarily matter.
Yeah, but it's weird that they spent so much time on that and then forgot about it.
Yeah.
And then the movie, Bond, the world just forgets about everything that happened with that.
Yeah.
It does nothing.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's weird. I mean, it's a weird attempt to like rope everything together in a way that it doesn't necessarily need to be roped. But
it's in a way that almost cheapens a lot of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
From earlier movies.
But in a way to make it all seem like it's super relevant and important and all tied together, it makes all that stuff seem super less relevant. It makes the other stuff seem insignificant as to where at the time it was the most important thing. This movie treats it like, yeah, that was this. It's like, oh, well, that's not as exciting. That's kind of dumb, actually. And I mean, I'm like you. I liked the movie too. It's just... There's a lot. The movie has a lot of just. I don't know if it's scripting problems or if they rushed it or.
I think my theory of what happened is, as it went on, Daniel Craig basically let them know in no uncertain terms that he's not coming back, and I think there was a lot of setup for the next movie in this one that suddenly had to be rendered not the point.
Yeah,
because. I don't see them making so many of the decisions they made in order, like, if they were going to bring him back,
maybe.
I just, and we've discussed the third act, which we don't really want to get into because it's only been out a week and people still need to see it. But the third act goes off the rails in a very weird way.
It's a mess.
There's specifically a scene that happens that you have theories on, but the way it plays out in the movie is straight up, well, this doesn't affect him because he's Bond.
Yeah.
That doesn't work in the grounded reality of the Daniel Craig Bond universe. I mean, yes, he got shot off the top of a train in Skyfall and fell 300 feet into a river and lived because he's Bond, but this is something different. This is like, no, Bond,
you can't Bond your way out of
you don't just shrug this off.
Right.
Be like, no, Bond. Because I'm Bond.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way.
Right. But no, he has special training.
Yeah.
I will say it's interesting that something that this entry in particular made very much mention of and hammered it home a lot was that they kept calling Bond a paid assassin. Like, him being a spy is done. Like, apparently that just does not exist anymore. There is no such thing as espionage. You're not, like, skulking around and finding clues and piecing things together. They're just paid assassins now. That's what they're calling them.
Well, I think...
And that's a bummer, man. That sucks.
I think that was what other people were trying to call Bond, because he kills people.
I know, but everyone says it to him, and he just accepts it. He's not like... He should, at some point, be like, that's not my job. Yeah, I kill people because that's in my job description, but I'm a fucking spy, dude.
Maybe he just doesn't care. I mean, James Bond has been... people have been telling him, and he's been killing people for 60 years now, or whatever. 50 years. Maybe he's just like, I'm tired of it. I don't care. Call me whatever you want.
There's a weird current, in watching all four of them as well, and especially Skyfall, this whole like, oh, MI6, we don't need them anymore. They're a relic. We got to get rid of them.
Right.
And this one really like doubles down on all that and is basically like, no, we have drones, so we don't need spies anymore. It's like we can tap phones and do all that stuff, and it's like, yeah, you can, but it doesn't. There's a very much a push and pull that becomes Ralph Fiennes' whole role in this, which I hate to say, I really think he was wasted in this movie.
Yep.
in that he's basically stuck arguing with a guy higher up than him going, yeah, well, we're going to shut down your department. And him going, no, you shouldn't do that. You need us.
Yeah.
And him going, nah, no, we don't.
Yeah. I wish Ray Fiennes wasn't afraid to bring more of the Grand Budapest Hotel Ray Fiennes into other roles. I mean, not completely, obviously, but like something about that, like, I don't know. Something about that attitude. I think he could have used in this, especially like as active a role as he had at points in time in this movie.
Yeah.
I think his interactions, especially with the sub-protagonist or sub-antagonist of this movie, would have been a lot more interesting to just have him be like, I don't know, just kind of telling him to fuck off.
Yeah.
And
I did
you'll
kind
notice-
of like the way he sank into this kind of bureaucratic guy, though, because it doesn't seem like him at all. He's much more charismatic and much more interesting. But it seemed like maybe he was a bit more aggressive in Skyfall, and then here he's just totally just Mr. Paper pushing guy.
Yeah.
Well, because he's been blown over by the
Sure.
by the higher ups.
Yeah, but I kind of did like his kind of just regression into this kind of just like middle management guy.
Yeah.
Well, he's acting like we, at least three of us, have worked at the same institution that has had departments shut down time and time again. And it kind of happens with people that are department heads of these things that get shut down, is you just like you're fighting against it, and you just keep getting worn down, and eventually they're just kind of like, I'm just going to try to make it to the next day. So I think it kind of reflects in how he portrays that character. So
I guess
that works for me.
I guess the long and skinny, yes, I liked it too. I mean, I think everyone else was saying that. I also enjoyed it. I think I need to see it again. There's like the last couple. There's a lot going on. That it's hard to take all of it in one sitting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to rewatch the Craig Bonds again, and I think I'll do that whenever this comes out on some sort of media. So I don't really want to go see it in the theater again. I don't need to.
Yeah.
Don't need that experience again. Which is not to say it's a complaint. It's just I just don't need to go see it in the theater. I want to watch it from the comfort of my home again.
It just feels like there are so many missed opportunities with it, and I think that's why we sound so down on it right now. And you'll notice we haven't even discussed Christoph Waltz.
Yeah,
who
Christoph Waltz, I think, is great in this.
Yeah,
I think he's absolutely great.
He's good. And I think it becomes there's not enough of him, and then they get to a point where it's kind of like because he's barely in like the first two acts, and then finally he shows up for the third act. That kind of he's surrounded by a lot of stuff that doesn't work nearly as well as it should. By the time like he's actually a main part of the plot.
But what he's doing in those scenes, I think, is really good. I think he nails it.
Yeah, they definitely cater him to have almost like almost want to say like Tarantino-esque monologues at some point by then, because like that's how you use Christoph Waltz, as everyone else who's had him in their movie has figured out. Like you have to give him quirky speeches that he can figure out how he wants.
I was going to say, I thought nobody else had figured it out except for Tarantino. He's kind of like the only other movie I've seen him in that he's good.
Yeah. This is about as close as you get is the stuff that they have him doing in this.
He seems so alive in this, like so thrilled to be in it. Just kind of wide-eyed and just like chomping at the bit to just, really deliver lines and stuff like that. So it's kind of a shame that the movie just kind of lets him down a little bit by not giving him enough to do. Like the stuff he's in, I'm like, okay, that's fun, but he needed to be a bigger presence in this and not just the idea of him, Yeah.
I think I think they were trying to sell that as a menacing threat.
Yeah, sure.
Throughout the movie, and it just kind of it falls a little bit flat.
Yeah.
It's not nearly as effective as I think they thought it would be. But again, like it sounds like we're taking it apart, but I mean we're kind of doing it in a loving way because we all did like
we
this.
do about Bond movies,
right?
Yeah,
right.
Totally.
Except for Octopussy, that's just undeniably garbage.
Poor Chuck. It is though.
Yeah.
Beset upon on all sides by your brothers.
Yes.
So I'm curious. I've asked this of a couple people. With Daniel Craig basically saying I'm done with Bond, does he fade into obscurity?
Totally.
I mean, I don't know.
No, he's going to do a remake of the Thomas Crown Affair.
He hasn't
Another one.
He hasn't made a movie since Skyfall.
Yeah, he made Spectre.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, I just mean like his
Two Bond movies.
That is a
I
movie.
mean, Layer Cake, which is kind of, intro to Bond, is really all I mean, he's been okay in other things. Like, I think I liked him in what's the other I think it's Neil Gaiman, Stardust. He was all right in that. I think like he's been all right in other things, but like he's never like unless he's Bond, it's just like oh yeah, that's Daniel.
He's
Craig.
never carried anything.
Yeah.
It's never been like, oh, this other Daniel Craig thing. It's like,
it feels like I don't know. Maybe he could have surprised us. I don't know if Sean Connery had anything mid going through Bond.
I don't know if he cares anymore.
I don't think he does.
He made $39 million making this movie. They paid him $39 million to make this movie.
I guess he could be done.
I don't even know how many millions they paid him to do the other three, but you know what? 39 million plus 3 million is still 42 million at least.
You don't have to
So-
work anymore.
You sit back and take whatever projects interest you at that point.
Yeah.
That's
It
the
doesn't
kind
matter.
of like when you've made that kind of money,
yeah.
you don't worry about it anymore.
Sure.
And
And you take roles that are just like, I get to go to Hawaii for a week and be in your movie? Okay, I'll do that. It ceases to be like, I got to eat.
Right,
It
right.
becomes like, yeah, I'll do this supporting thing. I'll do that. Or he's going to end up on, like a BBC show that runs 6
Yeah.
episodes a year. That kind of thing.
You work because you love it, then you work to make money, and then you work because you love it again.
Yeah, I'm just saying his acting style is like the kind of thing. Unless you're doing kind of a Bond ripoff, it seems like I don't know that he has any other range. I mean, it worked in Layer Cake because he was new and it's like the quiet, tough guy thing worked. But now it's like now the world sees him as Bond, and if he does that, it's like, well, he's just doing Bond again. You know.
Well, the Bond thing it's kind of a curse, really. Like Sean Connery's the only guy who had a career separate from that. Roger Moore was
And it took
basically like,
forever.
Oh,
Yeah.
Pierce Brosnan did all right.
He's had a little bit of work here and there.
yeah, but like
Not
late,
much.
lately, I mean, there's been a few movies, but the majority is kind of like older Bond, like November Man, and
Yeah.
God, was it like Thomas Crown Affair was almost like a Bond movie in itself. It's
I
kind of
liked that movie. Though.
yeah,
Like,
that is a really good
that was
movie.
I felt like that was a solid heist-ish movie.
Oh yeah, it's
you know?
it's a great movie, but it's kind of like these guys kind of get stuck being like, well, now I'm too old to do
action espionage
other stuff, but
yeah.
people want me to do the Bond thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
According to Evan in the live stream chat, Daniel Craig is doing stuff, doing stage and theater stuff.
Yeah.
So-
Well, we
yeah,
got
whatever.
$50+ million. Yeah, do that.
I mean, you don't ever have to be in another movie to be successful. I mean, there's plenty of ways to, invest your billions and never work again. And just being on stage, stuff like that. I mean, that's...
Oh, yeah.
That pays, and it might not pay a lot, but it pays, and it's
Keeps you working.
Just because you're not in a trailer that's playing before Star Wars doesn't mean you're not the working and you're not doing well.
Look at every community dinner theater type thing has a show roll through that's like starring some person from a TV show that was on in the 60s or 70s.
Yeah.
They're working. They they can solidly book these things, and they're probably not making millions, but they're working. They're traveling around
eating.
and doing stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, he'll be fine. I mean, I was saying like,
Sure.
does he
Oh, we're
fade?
not- I mean,
does
I
he
don't think
fade away
anybody's
into
worried
I'm
for
saying,
Daniel Craig.
I don't
mean
think
like
he will
Daniel
ever
Craig
have
is-
like a post Sean Connery Bond career.
Right.
Like, that will never happen.
Sure. I mean, Sean
Unless he
Connery got
lightens the
so
fuck
big, it's
up.
like people have to go, oh yeah, he's James Bond. Like,
Yeah.
I just felt like Sean Connery got to that point where it's like,
But
oh yeah, also
Sean
James Bond.
Connery, I mean, like before the Untouchables, it was like Sean Connery was, I mean, who cared? I mean, he
don't
was
know.
making Meteor and Cuba and fucking Zardoz.
Oh, yeah, Zardoz. Fuck, you say that like that's a bad thing. Outland, he was doing all right. He made some interesting little low budget things.
Yeah, but he was not a draw. I mean, it wasn't like what happened to Connery when like Untouchables, Indiana Jones, The Rock, that kind of thing for a little while. Where it was like, fuck yeah, Connery's back. Let's go see the new Sean Connery movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he was doing all right for a while there. Whatever. I want to. It's not even untouchable. I mean, Indiana Jones and all that shit. I mean, all these things are that all part of his mystique.
I know. I'm just saying, from like the time he left Bond till about like the late '80s, his career was not great. Not
yeah.
great at all. I mean, that fucking. The Highlander stuff, like Highlander is
Dude, fucking
fine.
Highlander.
Yes, but also, dude, Highlander 2, where he was working for a sandwich, in a role
Medicine
that made
Man.
Yeah, yes, fucking Medicine Man.
Wasn't that 1990?
That was pretty late. That was almost
Yeah, I was
like
gonna say,
92.
that's after
Yeah.
Last Crusade.
So, yeah, I mean, Connery obviously was the most successful. Timothy Dalton didn't do anything except show up on Doctor Who. Roger.
Hot Fuzz.
Yeah, that's true. Hot Fuzz. Yeah,
Timothy Dalton's had a nice little interesting.
he's done fine.
comeback, yeah.
He's fine.
Yeah, he was Bond for so short a time.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
almost
it's-
like
he
people
barely-
don't- like he is
he didn't have
even
time to
more
get
than
cursed.
Lazenby. He's like the most forgotten one out of all of them
Yeah, that was a bad
because
era.
that was like where the Bond.
It ended.
Like, well, yeah, and it wasn't like, oh shit, a Bond movie's coming out. You know, in the '80s, they're just like, oh yeah, there's another one. Yeah, it's
Well,
been a couple
that was
years.
he was the stopgap for Pierce Brosnan because he couldn't get the job. So it was like, oh, this guy is not Pierce Brosnan. Who cares?
Does anybody have enough interest in the series anymore for them to go back and make more stupid American versions of the Dragon Tattoo series?
They're
Or is
doing
it-
one.
Are they?
Yeah,
So
they
with Daniel
totally
Craig?
recast everything.
Oh,
so-
okay.
Fincher doing it again.
No,
Oh.
none of the. It's like no one involved.
Oh, I was just wondering. I was like, now that he's done with Bond, do they go do more? Or
No, I think they're rebooting that.
I'm saying I think the hype train for that left the station a long
Yeah.
time ago. It left before the Daniel Craig one showed up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Anyway,
but yeah, we like Spectre.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
got some
go see
problems,
it. Go
but
see it.
it's a
It's
good
still
time.
Yeah,
It's fun.
Even with the problems, I'd say it's in my top 10 of Bond movies.
There is an explosion in that movie.
Yes.
That is worth the price of admission.
Yes.
I kid you not. Pay $14 to see that explosion on the big screen.
Yeah.
And the tracking shot.
Yeah,
Well,
those two things
yeah,
put together
fine.
worth a ticket.
It's also the funniest of the Craig movies.
Yeah, it's got some jokes.
Yeah, there are actual jokes in it.
Daniel Craig lightens the fuck up for half a second.
Yep.
It seems like he hates doing it, but whatever. He
Well, that's
cracks
Daniel
a couple
Craig for you.
jokes. Yeah.
Hey, it must be weird for people to be laughing at him on purpose instead of like Cowboys and Aliens.
Yeah. Oh, that fucking movie.
Yeah.
Blech.
I don't remember a damn thing from that movie.
Good.
I remember Olivia Wilde. That's
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Yep.
What will happen with Bond next? Bond will return in a new skin.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing, man. I'm already sick of seeing who's the next Bond.
Yeah, stop that.
Before Spectre even came out, people were
Yeah.
like, who's going to be Bond
Well, that's
next?
because
And-
before it came out, Daniel Craig was like, "Fuck no, I'm never doing another
Yeah.
one."
It's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
No.
Duh.
I'm going home. Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, it's time to the Mad Men reboot. Michael Fassbender, please.
That would
Wait,
be
what?
bad.
I want a reboot set in the '60s Mad Men
Yes.
style.
Oh, I
That's
thought
with
you
Michael
meant...
Fassbender
that
as
is
Bond.
our dream.
God, I
Like,
thought you meant a reboot of Mad Men with Michael Fassbender. I'm like,
I
what
said Mad
the
Men
fuck is
style.
your
No,
problem?
no. style.
But we genuinely need to like write a spec script.
Spectre.
Set a Spectre
Yeah,
spec
and
script.
we can cast
Michael Fassbender
yeah,
right
Michael
now.
Fassbender.
He's cast.
We can use God, I cannot believe we just said his name and I'm blanking on it. M. We can reuse M.
Yeah, we can reuse him.
Yeah,
the
make
60s?
Idris
Sure.
Elba M, just so everyone will get super pissed. Super pissed.
Fuck you. We made him
Can you
the
imagine?
boss. You shitheads.
Oh, that was the joke we made after the movie. If like they did like the Netflix expanded universe of like 009 and it was Idris Elba,
Oh.
everyone would be so fucking pissed.
No, we said the
We-
Felix Leiter the Leiter files.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
we
Yeah,
wanted
okay.
to
The
feel
lighter
this
side of
file.
Bond.
Yeah, that's why I said the Felix Leiter side of Bond. Yeah,
I would totally watch that.
I would still watch the Leiter files or whatever, but I mean, you can get
Especially-
you can get Jeffrey Wright.
Yeah,
Sure, it's
especially if
okay.
it was Jeffrey Wright, because
Yeah.
like in rewatching those movies, like the first two, I'm like, God, they need so much more of him.
Yeah.
And they set him up for so much in Quantum of Solace, and then that goes nowhere.
Yep.
But
It's a bummer.
that was the least of that movie's problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So anyway,
Yep.
you want to do some listener correspondence?
Love to.
Totally.
Totes.
So we got a voicemail.
We do.
Hello, BMFcast. This is straight out of Tijuana. I called last time when I was at episode 100. I recommended Psycho Kickboxer. I am now at 200. It's kind of difficult calling from the past, but I'm getting close. My recommendation this week is an oldie but a goodie. It features one of the Raimis, so it's along that timeline, and with that group of people, it is called Thou Shalt Not Kill, Except. And to sell it, it's basically military on leave versus Manson cultists. So check it out. It's pretty good. Crash and burn. This is out of Tijuana, land of the zonkey.
Is it like a zebra donkey?
Yeah.
Or a zombie donkey.
Or a zombie donkey?
I don't know.
That's so great when he's calling from the past. He has no idea we're doing a theme year.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, imagine when he gets to episode 300 next week.
Well, imagine when imagine when he gets to like
That was Action Jackson.
how long before he
episode
listens,
200.
if he catches on or hears it's spoiled, or I don't know, maybe just seeing the episode list with 1990, 1990, he's like might be easier to catch on. When there's a big giant pile of them.
Maybe.
Yeah, I looked back on when I was updating our spreadsheet with our ratings and all that. 18 days straight worth of BMFcast so far.
Total audio, you mean?
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's not even live stream. That's just the released episodes.
Man.
18 days
Those
worth.
are cut for time.
Ugh.
Can you imagine?
No. I don't know how you people do it. I honestly don't know how. It's insane.
Yeah.
Thank you, but it's insane. I don't understand.
Thanks, guys.
But I love the title of that movie, Thou Shalt Not Kill.
Except- I think it has a ... in it.
1985.
Yep. So, we can get to it next year.
Yeah. The 31st anniversary of 1985.
Yeah.
Stupidest theme year ever.
So you're in?
Yeah, no, I'm
Oh,
not.
all right. then.
Oh.
Unless we
Alright.
get to do Godzilla 1985.
Okay. We should watch that anyway. It's pretty good.
But that didn't come out in 1985, did it?
It did here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it did. All right, we got time for one more, which came in from Pierre. Indeed.
We.
So the title is, So the Other Day, ... It says, Hey guys, I know this is more of a TV question per se, but it does reference movies quite heavily. Anyway, this past weekend, I ended up watching the entire run of the TV show The Critic. When it originally ran,
Stinks.
I was a bit too young to get it, but revisiting it, I really liked it. Lots of good movie parodies, a lot of satire, very funny with great voice actors, John Lovitz, Maurice LaMarche, to name a few, and really well written. A quick Google search showed Judd Apatow was one of the writers. Wonder if you guys ever saw the series and have any thoughts. As always, keep up the great work, and I look forward to enjoying the rest of the 90s BMF offerings. Pierre, sent from a Power Glove while eating a Hot Pocket, something about crash and burn, and other somewhat dated sign-off tropes. P.S.
Other tropes.
Yeah. P.S. Spectre thoughts. As spoiler-free as possible, the more I think about it, the more middling I think of Spectre. Great first act, so-so second. Spoiler, didn't see the need for the torture scene. Really bleh, third act. Love Batista, though. Maybe he's our new Jaws?
Claws.
Yes.
Yeah.
Claws.
Bautista. Rewind about 25 minutes, and you can listen to our thoughts on Spectre
Yeah.
again.
Yep.
So there you go.
Oh my god, you just caught him in an infinite loop.
I'm the real Bond villain.
But
So-
yeah, The Critic.
It's funny. I have like the Critic set on DVD. Literally 2 days ago, I just found my VHS tape of all of the episodes of The Critic with the commercials edited out.
Oh, man.
Like
Oh, edited
unlabeled.
out?
Yeah.
Boo.
Like didn't know what it was, just plugged it in and was like, oh, this is back when I recorded every episode of The Critic. So, man, that's weird to get that email after like losing half my day to sitting there watching random bits of Critic episodes. So,
Yeah, I was going to say, I've seen it. I wouldn't claim to have seen like any kind of complete saga of it, but
Yeah.
I've seen episodes.
I've seen a number of episodes. I always enjoyed it.
Yeah.
the initial run was better. Like it was on ABC for a season, and then they moved it to Fox, and they kind of tinkered with it a little bit. Was not as good, but like the first 6 or so are pretty good proof of concept, not Simpsons cartoon show for the 90s.
I gotcha.
So
Yeah, that is kind of the thing about the 90s shows. Is they all like feel like they fell in the shadow of The Simpsons, and
Yeah.
there's always something they're trying to do that's similar to The Simpsons.
Yes.
And
yeah, and then when they moved to Fox, they did a crossover with The Simpsons, and the Simpsons creators were like, "Fuck that! Take our names off that episode because that's hot bullshit."
really?
It's really weird. Like that one commentary on the Simpsons set when the Critic came to The Simpsons is just the Critic creators and not any of the usual Matt Groening.
Really?
None of those people participated. Like they took their names off the opening credits, everything. It's weird.
Why haven't they done that in the past few years?
Take their names off the credits?
Yeah.
Because they want to get paid. They're on autopilot now.
Yeah. They used to give a shit, clearly.
Yeah.
So, really weird. Like, Matt Groening never shows up anywhere, hardly, that I know of.
He was at a Comic-Con at some point.
He does that. I mean, he
On
showed up at my
occasion.
house, is what I'm saying. No,
Oh, neat.
Totally kidding. I mean, he sort of did. He was on an episode of Portlandia, like the last season 5, I think.
They get weird guest stars.
Yeah, they do. But I mean, just Matt Groening. There he is. Just
I think it was because they
graining
asked
it
him.
up.
I think
I
really
guess he lives near there or something. But
I don't know.
But just like,
he's probably never been asked. People just
I
assume he's
guess.
a recluse or something.
but isn't he like? Doesn't he kind of, for the most part, just keep to himself and do his own thing?
yeah, probably.
Anyway,
Yeah,
weird.
he was in the Simpsons game.
Yeah, he was.
He was like the end
He was
boss.
probably
Yeah.
contractually obligated to be in the Simpsons game.
Again, I think they just asked him.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, sure.
Maybe we need to ask Matt Groening to come on the podcast.
Fucking coasters over there. Cats.
It's fun.
Okay.
You should play along.
All right.
I have to keep my hands busy. I'm
Apparently.
handsy. So I'll start getting handsy with you guys, and then
No.
it'll get weird. Handsy jive.
So Chuck,
Yeah.
you got an announcement to make.
Oh, right. So next week, like week after this episode comes out, it's the weekend of November 20th through the 22nd. Some of us are going to be in Orlando at a pinball convention called Free Play Florida.
Wrong podcast, man.
Well, no,
Oh.
it applies to this podcast, and I'll tell you why. Because they are screening relevant arcade and pinball movies at this convention.
Okay.
Like they're showing Tron, and they're showing short films and stuff like that. And so they're also showing Joysticks, which is a BMFcast movie.
It is.
It is.
Yeah, which you guys hated, and I didn't like either. But
Let's try.
the director of Joysticks, Graydon Clark, is going to be there. He's going to do like a Q&A and sign autographs and stuff. And, you know, he directed Black Shampoo, which we also watched. And so I thought it was relevant to mention we will be in Orlando.
Huh? It also kind of didn't like.
We liked 2/3 of it.
Yeah,
it just
we
got
like
really
it's-
dark.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've talked about his book on the show where he kind of explains that, you know, it was outside forces like, you got to make this movie violent. And he was like, well, the movie's already done, dude. What do
Yeah.
Put violence in it. So that's why it got all dumb and dark. But yeah, he's going to be in Orlando taking questions and signing stuff. And so, you know, I thought it might be relevant to our Floridian listeners.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get him to sign the podcast.
Okay. Yeah. Just hand him a computer screen. Give him an old iPod. Here,
Yeah.
sign this. Load it up with BMFcast episodes.
Yes.
Yeah, specifically too, where we talk about his movies, and we're like, I would have really liked these.
They're all right.
Yeah, we really kind of hate joysticks. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's talk about that.
Yeah.
No. I mean,
It's no pinball summer, that's for sure.
you're right. It's not.
That CD is still in my fucking car.
As it should be. It's great.
Every once in a while, I actually turn the CD player on, and then,
Then you're depressed that that's what's in it.
well, luckily I have 6 CDs in the CD
Oh,
player.
okay, good.
I mean, I don't have a changer; they're just crammed in there. So,
It's like a sandwich.
but yeah, every once in a while it comes on. I'm like, God damn it, Chuck!
You're welcome.
Worst birthday present ever.
That was pretty good.
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, how about you give the listeners a gift?
I will. It is my sweet, sweet voice telling them how they may contact us. And that is BMF at BMFcast.com. Check the website, which is BMFcast.com. Look on the right-hand rail. There are a bunch of buttons that'll take you to all our social stuff. Or give us a call on the Garfield phone, the BMFcast hotline, 9105-JOCKS-BMF or 910-556-9263.
Good job.
Hooray!
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get out of here, shall we?
Yeah.
I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
And this is BMFcast out. Bye, motherfuckers.
Stay tuned for episode 300 next week.
Man.
We might give away stuff.
We might give away things like coffee's roar. Maybe I come in.
Yeah. Episode 300 is coming, and
Yeah.
then we fire this show into the sun.
It's been a good run.
Oh, is it the Xbox 360?
Yep.
It's been a decent run.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's been...
Right after this episode, we actually try to fight the Persians, and it's bad.
Yeah. No, that's a good idea.
This is podcast.
Pretty much all die.
I've been using my Xbox 360 a little bit lately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That hot ESPN app.
Yeah, that too. I'm trying to finish my Ultimate Vault or True Vault Hunter mode, whatever. The second playthrough of Borderlands 2 for some reason.
No, Evan, they're not showing the accused. That's not appropriate.
Oh, that's Jodie Foster Pinball, isn't it?
It's not appropriate. Bad. No.
But I've noticed, like, okay, so, huh?
Where's the cat?
Oh, there's a cat. Meow.
Bam Cat Junior. Come on.
We're in here, kitty cat.
Cat Junior. But it seems like
I need to get another one that can have BMFcast Junior.
Yes.
Just like Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Yeah.
Dan, and then they changed their name. It's so dumb. It's the worst. Bad Dale Earnhardt Jr. Hey, come on. Come on out. Here,
Yoink.
roam around on the table. Now you can walk around on the table and annoy everyone.
But it
We're still
seems-
live, right?
Here, you want to talk to the podcast people? Here.
Please don't knock over my drink. Hey. Meow meow.
Hey.
I know.
Aw. You're so cute. You're...
Speak into the microphone.
Chuck, you scared the cat.
You have a very scary laugh. Oh, hello.
She's so tiny. I can't get over it.
How old is she? Like,
8 or 9 weeks.
okay.
It's pretty
So
tiny.
she's just going to be a small cat.
So she's freshly weaned.
Hey, don't talk about her ween. That's rude.
No.
You push the little daisies and make them come up.
I just played with the wheel.
Make them come up. Here, turn to the microphone.
Her into the mic.
Make purring sounds for the internet.
Do it. Hey, purr. Do it.
Don't headbutt the microphone. Purr into...
Headbutt that microphone.
Make purring sound.
You purr now, cat. Purr.
If you turn on your subwoofers, you can hear it.
No, it's your sub meowers.
I'm very loud now.
Yeah. Don't commit suicide.
Yeah, be a pimp. Don't commit suicide.
That's not
But yeah, I noticed like my 360 seems incredibly loud.
What?
Yeah, like the subwoofer just goes insane.
Woofer?
These
Yes,
woofer.
subwoofer. Woofer.
Hey.
All right.
Yes, I will play your Young Frankenstein. Always, Chuck. Always.
You're such a tiny cat.
Good night, everyone.
Yes, good night, everyone. We put cats on the internet and also our dumb voices. And now we must end because that's how we do. Hello.
Fuck all the things.
Come play with the mouse. Oh no, laser. Laser mouse.
Did you just blind the cat?
She'll be fine.
Cats don't cats.
Fuck everything.
Good night.